The North Carolina State Wolfpack, full of energy and enthusiasm, ready to kick off. And they'll need and more because tonight they take on not only an undefeated team currently ranked second in the BCS, they also come face to face with the mystique of the Miami Hurricanes. It's a collection of unforgettable images, soaring moments, larger-than-life athletes, and hard-fought triumphs. The march of the Miami Hurricanes. Always, it seems, in the national spotlight. Never out of a game. No shortage of faith in themselves. And the long legacy of excellence continues this season. With a new, never-before-attained accomplishment on their radar screen, the championship of the ACC. But if there's a force to stifle the fury of a hurricane, it's a ravenous Wolfpack, protecting its home turf. NC State is not out merely to spoil the Canes' hopes of another national title, but to dispel the Miami mystique. Welcome to ESPN's college football. Tonight, the third-ranked Miami Hurricanes take on the North Carolina State Wolfpack. All season, ESPN's Saturday Night College Football will be broadcast in high definition, presented by Phillips and Best Buy. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried, and welcome to the state capital of the great state of North Carolina. We are in Raleigh. And, Mike, this has been fun. The state fair is going on just over behind us. A basketball scrimmage this afternoon, over 20,000 people there, and now a packed house here at this stadium. And all week long, newspaper, radio, and television. NC State ready to make a statement. If they do, Mike, what has to happen to make that statement tonight?
Ron, T.M. McClendon, the tailback, has to stay on the field. He's been injured, but they're a different team with him on the football field. He's got to have 25 carries. Jay Davis, the quarterback, is not a drop-back guy. He needs the running game for the play-action passing game.
What about the Miami Hurricanes? A lot of people scolded them this week, including their coaches, and they normally bounce back after a close encounter, so to speak.
Now, they like this atmosphere. I expect Miami to bounce back, come out here real strong at the start of the game.
Well, let's go down to the sideline and visit with the third member of our telecast. Here is Erin Andrews. Erin?
Well, Ron, many of these NC State players, they know all about Miami football. In fact, some of them grew up cheering for the Hurricanes. The reason NC State head coach Chuck Amato, he spent nearly 2 decades recruiting in South Florida when he coached at Florida State. When he came to Raleigh, he kept that pipeline open. 28 Floridians on this NC State roster, 16 of them from South Florida, 8 of them from the Miami area. NC State senior Miami native Andre Maddox told me it's a dream to play the Hurricanes. It's an even bigger one to beat them. Ron?
Okay, Erin. Well, there's the head man of the Miami Hurricanes. 4th season down there. 40-3. What an incredible record. 93%. And a 10-game winning streak going right now. Former Florida State assistant. Now the head man here in Raleigh, his 5th season. And Chuck Amato, 38-19. His numbers. John Delaney prepares to kick it off. Devin Hester, always dangerous. 3 returns for touchdowns this year, and also a huge block of a field goal attempt in the Florida State game. Darnell Jenkins joins Hester as the other deep man for Miami. We are just about set to get this one underway. Tickets impossible to come about, and those that did, I'm not meaning to say that there were scalpers around Mike Guthrie, but it was a very high price going for this one here. Skycam gives you a great idea of what it looks like behind the kicker from Delaney, and we are underway. 5 yards deep in the end zone, and Hester will return it. Up the sideline, look out. Cuts back at the 40, 45, 50. You can count him gone. 105 yards is the distance. Officially 100 yards on the opening kickoff. No flags in sight. And so Miami sends a huge statement to this shocked crowd right here in Raleigh.
Best special teams player in America, Hester. He can change a game, and he changed this one from the start.
Well, that ties the school record at Miami. 100 yards on a kick return. It's happened 3 times. As you watch the extra point attempt, it is up and good. Otis Anderson was the last one to accomplish that, as he did it in 1978. And Mike, let's take a look.
Yeah, I think what you'll find out that people will refuse to kick to Hester because he's so good. He cuts back against the grain. Right there, you called it. Not going to be touched.
A.J. Davis was the closest man to him. As you want, I thought he was going to take a knee because it was so deep.
I knew he wasn't, because he wants to carry the football 5 yards deep. He's bringing it out. Devin Hester.
Well, it took 12 seconds off the clock, and we got a 7-0 ball game. Hurricanes.
That guy knew Hester was going to return the kickoff, that fan.
You think that's the reason he took off his shirt?
Yeah, because the kickoff return, he took his shirt right off. He knew he was going to have a touchdown.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Analysis and more. Riviera Beach, Florida, and the 2004 Big East Indoor Long Jump Champion.
Remember what Chuck Amato said yesterday. He said we have to win the kicking game. A minus there.
Well, you're exactly right. In the meeting we had with him, that was one of the last things. As Aaron asked him, she said that give us 3 keys, 3 things that have to happen. And that was certainly one of the 3 that he mentioned. Chuck paces on the sideline as Monroe prepares to kick this one off. And it doesn't matter who you're playing, let alone the number 2 team in the BCS. Boy, to spot them a 7-0 lead.
You have to answer, Ron, on this drive. This kickoff return and a drive.
Here's the kick. And this one is returnable from the 5. Back into the middle. He will not get back to the 15-yard line, and that is Lamont Reed. There was a flag down as you take a look at Jay Davis, the starting quarterback for the Wolfpack of North Carolina State.
You're going to re-kick. Penalty on Miami.
So that offensive unit of NC State preparing to come on the field. Now they have to wait for a moment. Clement Williams, the referee tonight.
We have encroachment, kicking team, 5 yards, re-kick.
So we got off to a very fast start, and now we have slowed to a crawl. Reset it, and let's kick it off.
It was bad field position for the Wolfpack, so they're very fortunate.
You're right, Mike.
Miami was offside.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he made it back to the 15-yard line. Lamont Reed, one of the deep men. And Bobby Washington, wide receiver, is the other deep guy. Monroe, the left footer, tees it up again, this time at the 30-yard line. And we'll start this one over again as far as a possession offensively by the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. Here's Monroe. And he's going to kick this one out of bounds, and they're going to gain about 20 yards off this one. They'll scrimmage from the 35. So now we talk about the youngster out of Clearwater, Florida, Jay Davis. His dad was his high school football coach.
Ron, he's been better the last 2 weeks. Not a comfortable drop back passer, needs a play action game, but they need T.A. McClendon to run the football, stay on the field.
TA number 44, the junior out of Albemarle, North Carolina. And he has been riddled with just little nagging injuries.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. The ball will be placed on the 40-yard line. First down.
Washington in motion back to this side of the field. Wants to throw on first down. Heavy pressure. He's got McClendon wide open out of the backfield. And he will catch it at the 45 of Miami and take it down to the 43. Here are the other starters on offense for the Wolfpack of NC State. McClendon, who just caught the pass along with Hall. T.J. Williams, the tight end. Great-looking specimen. Brian Clark and Richard Washington are the wide receivers. Comer, Newby, Harris, McEwen, and Derek Morris, the offensive line. So a first down for the Wolfpack on their initial play of the ball game. Fake it to McClendon. Looking, got a man wide open, and good heavens, did he miss. Richard Washington looked like the first guy out to the workout. Atkins, Harris, Antonio Thomas, and Thomas Carroll, the down four for Miami. The linebackers, McIntosh, Williams, and Tavares Gooden. And in the secondary, it all starts with number 6 there, Antrell Roll out of Homestead. Jennings on the other side, Merriweather, and Threet are the safeties. There's Antrell, preseason All-American on every team I saw. And he's been playing like an All-American this year. Right up the middle, they go to McClendon, breaks one tackle, tries to bounce it out to the sideline, and he'll be tackled at the 42 by Antrell Roll.
You can believe this defense has heard all week, for 10 days, how bad they are. Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator, has been on them. The fans have been on them. The papers, the media, they're going to try to prove a point.
Let me tell you something, Mike. They always have a player of the week. You look on their board in their locker room, it's vacant this week. He didn't even name a defensive player of the week. That's how upset Randy Shannon was. Sending to throw under pressure, and they have got the sack at the 48, Thomas Carroll.
Can't get behind the chains if you're North Carolina State and Jay Davis. You can't have long yardage situations against this defense. Too much pressure, too many defensive linemen. Thomas Carroll, another in a long line of defensive linemen.
And the Hurricanes with an injured player, as you can see. Thomas Carroll, a junior out of Lakewood, New Jersey. And the injured player,
Santonio Thomas.
Yeah, it sure is. The right defensive tackle. Boy, he's a huge one, 6'4", 308. His nickname is Fats. And hopefully it is nothing serious. He's grabbing what it looks like his hamstring. And now they're checking the knee. Boy, if you just joined us, the kickoff by NC State went to Devin Hester, and he returned. He was 5 yards deep. He only gets credit for 100 yards. But, I mean, there was not much doubt.
No.
He was not even touched.
Very confident kick returner. And, Ron, if it wasn't 4th and 15 right here, this would be a good time for Chuck Amato to try a fake here, because he's got to send a message to his football team. But I think because it's 4th and 15, too long a yardage, don't expect a fake.
So the officials are now signaling for a timeout, and we'll take the break with them. 13:21 left in the opening quarter. Canes 7-0. So we are back. Jay Davis on the sideline as you look at Delaney, the kicker for NC State, and look who's back. Devin Hester. Yep, he returns punts as well.
He wouldn't return this punt. I'd kick it out of bounds. I'd never let him return a punt.
And he is kicking it away from him to the far side of the field. And this will bring a pretty good cheer from the homestanding NC State folks. Now let's take a look at the offensive starters for the Hurricanes of Miami. Brock Berlin, out of Shreveport, Louisiana. And Mike, we talked to him on the phone the other day. He really has been under the microscope, and he's what, 15-2 as a starter.
16-2. He's Mr. Comeback. Finished that Louisville game on a high. Interesting to see how he starts here.
When I asked him if I thought he was scrutinized too much, he said, you know, I kind of knew it when I came there. I knew I would be under the microscope. From the 19, play action, slipped a little bit, gets it upfield, and the ball incomplete. Trying to get it to Devin Hester, who they had in the ball game at wide receiver. Gore, Humphrey, those are the running backs. Everett, the tight end, Jenkins and Parrish, the wide receivers, and we'll see at least 5 wide receivers for the Hurricanes tonight. Butler, Tony Tella, Joel Rodriguez, McMeans, and Chris Myers. Chris, a veteran. And this is some new look along that offensive front, particularly with Rodriguez having to move over to the center position. Was a guard. NC State showed blitz, pulled out a little early, fumbled the football. Still unstacking. Who's got it? NC State's got it inside the 20-yard line. Brock Berlin got a little anxious and appeared to come out quickly.
Yeah, he pulled out. Didn't get the football. You're going to see him pull out. He hit the tip of his fingers. Couldn't bring it in.
That is what usually happens. The guard kicks the football, and then all of a sudden he can't get back on it. John McCargo made the recovery for NC State. One of the things that the Wolfpack has not done a very good job of, and that is turnover ratio. It's been the Miami Hurricanes who have done well, but they're down 1 tonight. 5
turnovers the NC State defense has been able to get. Now 6.
T.A. Montgomery, short yardage on the left side. He'll bang his way to around the 16 defensively. Greg Threep coming from that strong safety position to make the tackle.
T.A. McClendon is a very good back. Played only 2 plays last week against Maryland. And when you talk to the coaches, they talk about we're a different team when he's on the field.
Yep, in fact, his head coach said if he plays the entire ball game, that's another key. We have a chance to win, but we got to have him there for the entire night. Again from the shotgun, and they get it out to McClendon. Little screen pass thrown a tad high, and it is incomplete. Mike, let's talk about the game plans for tonight.
NC State, McClendon's got to stay on the field, get 25 carries, plus get quarterback Jay Davis comfortable. Play action. On defense, pressure and confuse Brock Berlin. They got a turnover, limit yards after the catch. Miami's receivers can make big plays.
3rd down. They need to take the ball to the 19-yard line. Again from the shotgun. Steps up. Davis right over the middle. Got it open to Washington at the 5. He will score. Richard Washington, 17 yards. John Rainey tries to tie this one up at 7. And he does. So as we head to commercial, Richard Washington from 17 yards out, and he ties this ball game at 7 apiece. Let's take a timeout. 12 minutes and 14 seconds left in this opening quarter.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Chrysler. inspiration comes standard. And TIAA Craft, financial services for the greater good.
Okay, Coach Gottfried, after the kick, we'll get you to show us exactly what happened on that last play, because, boy, Washington was wide open. That was a nice-looking play. Onside kick, and they battle for it, scrambled at the 49-yard line.
They did that 2 years ago against Florida State. Scored and got an onside kick right after the score.
That's right. They were down big in that ball game, and NC State has recovered. John Delaney, the kicker, is the man who got on the football.
Ron, you always look at the front line. They'll sometimes retreat too quickly when you're the receiving kickoff team. Ramey did a nice job of recovering the football. And that sends a message to your football team that you're after Miami.
With John being congratulated on the sideline, Larry Coker paces. We still got 12-12 to play in the opening quarter. We have not taken much off the clock, and a lot has happened. Quick screen, Washington drops it. Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
Well, Ron, last 2 years, Texas and Texas Tech in each of those games combined for at least 80 points. We're on our way again. Longhorns going in behind Vince Young to take a 14-7 lead in Lubbock, but the Red Raiders able to answer. Sonny Cumbie doing it on the ground. Early second quarter, 14 each.
Okay, Reese, I'd hate to be a stat guy in that game. You'd wind up with wrist cramp by the time you get into the fourth quarter.
Well, I was thinking about that onside kick. That was a great call because you don't want to kick it to Hester anyway.
That's exactly right. Randy, pretty excited. A little nervous energy as he paces. Banging up into the right tackle spot. No gain for McClendon. And they'll give it to him just as many times as he is healthy enough to carry it. Antrell Roll records his second tackle of the early going in this first quarter.
McClendon's a guy that can take it the distance. Roll's a guy in the secondary that Miami likes to bring on the blitz.
You know, Roll this past week in the Miami paper had huge praise for Hester, talking about what a difference he had helped make in this football team. Always willing to share some of the kudos to the other Canes. Davis steps up, pass over the middle, got it complete. That's enough for the first. Nope, going to be just short. Barrett is the man on the receiving end, and I thought from where they were going to spot it, it's actually a yard further back at the 42 as Threet made the tackle.
Now Chacamato with another decision. You onside kick, now you're fourth in the yard. I believe you go for it here. You got Miami on the ropes. You onside kick him, you score a touchdown, go after him.
Maybe a little dazed, not on the ropes. What'd you say?
They're dazed, you're right. They're not on the ropes. Appreciate you correcting me.
No, not correct.
No, I know they're dazed because the onside kick after the touchdown.
Well, we're going to take a timeout to think it over. 10:36 left, opening quarter. It is NC State 7 and Miami 7. Looking down into the huddle, literally. Mike Gottfried, what would you go with if you're Chacamato here?
I think he's already sent a message that offensively with the onside kick, I think he's going to go for this. Now, the reverse is if you pin Miami down, you already got Berlin to fumble the football one time. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they fake this.
They have sprinted back out on the field with the punter. And let's see if they do, in fact, kick it away. Look at the formation. Bunch to the left and bunch to the right. Now they'll move back inside. And this kick, flag is down. He's going to go out of the back of the end zone.
I don't know if they got that play off. And then there's two flags, I really believe, Ron. maybe delay the game, and then maybe offside or illegal procedure. Because of that formation, they took too long to get the punt off.
We have a foul on the play. We have 2 fouls. We're going to disregard the first play because the players was lined up legally. On the defense, we had illegal participation, 12 players, 15 yards from the previous spot, and because of the yardage gain from the penalty, first down.
And again, Ron, when your punt returner is back there, he's supposed to count.
That's right.
And he's got to call a timeout if you got too many men on the field.
I don't know how many times I've heard you say that, too, that is his responsibility.
That's his job.
So the Miami Hurricanes come up with one huge victory on a 100-yard kick return to open the ball game, and then 2 mistakes as they do not take advantage of an onside kick, and now 12 men on the field on the punt. Washington in motion, and they give it back to him on the reverse. And he takes it inside the 20 to the 15, and there was a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Merriweather finally knocked him out of bounds.
I'm going to be holding on the corner.
Holding, 71, offense. 10 yards on the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Derek Morris, the big sophomore out of Huntersville, North Carolina, with the hold. So the penalty will push it back to the 32-yard line.
Still good field position for the Pack.
So it's going to be a first down and 15. Line to make is the 17-yard line.
A lot of conferences.
I'm going to tell you, Mike, if we had this many more conferences, we haven't played 5 minutes of the ball game. We're going to be here till well after midnight. I mean, it is incumbent upon everybody to hustle. That includes both teams and the officials. Washington in motion. They fake it to McClendon. Now Davis going to run and hit from behind and be tackled at the 26-yard line. And let's check down on the sideline with Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Well, Ron, a word from the Miami trainers. Right tackle Santonio Thomas, a sprained left knee. He is doubtful return. That is a big blow for Miami's defense. Their defensive coordinator telling us on Wednesday he is the best tackle they have. A senior in the group. He's been through it all. Ron?
All righty. Yep, that's exactly what the defense coordinator said. Kareem Brown, a junior out of Miami, is the guy who's replacing him. Kareem, 6'5", 305. Where's number 99? Getting from the shotgun, they set up a screen in the middle. Got it going, and then it closes up quickly at the 22. Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
All right, Ron, in the SEC, Georgia on the road at Arkansas. Hogs had a 7-3 lead late in the second. David Green, Fred Gibson just abused his man. Dogs on top late in the first half by a field goal. It's on ESPN 2.
Well, Arkansas has had a tough schedule, haven't they?
Well, they really have. Georgia, David Green trying to keep their hopes alive for the SEC East.
Brock Berlin, has been a while since they've been out on the field, so he's trying to stay warm down on the sideline. Davis got a man, and it's thrown way too far. Trying to get T.A. McClendon out of the backfield.
Had him on the wheel route, Ron, which means the back's going to come out of the backfield and run the sideline against the linebacker. But T.A. McClendon was open early, not late.
DeVaris Gooden was covering on the play. John Durante, 8 of 14 coming into the ball game tonight in field goal attempts. And this is going to be a 40-yard attempt almost in the middle of the field. Plenty of leg and plenty of accuracy. And the Wolfpack has gone on top at the 8:29 mark. Let's take a timeout. NC State 10, Miami 7. So we're back 10-7. NC State leading in the ball game. 8:29 left in this opening quarter. And here's the strange thing. Because of the 100-yard kick return, Miami has had 2 offensive plays. NC State has had 14. That's the reason Brock Berlin is over there warming up just a moment ago.
They're getting ready for their best offensive play right here as the kickoff return. I would not let Hester touch this football.
Darnell Jenkins is the other gentleman back there. Darnell Ware is number 8 as you look at Hester. 4th return for a touchdown this season. Durante with the kick. And it's going to come to Hester, 2 yards deep. That'll be tackled just short of the 30-yard line, and he hesitated for a second instead of banging through on this side. Well, we got a flag down. 2 of them, in fact.
Miami hurting themselves with penalties.
Well, Mike, let's take a look at the game plan for Miami tonight.
On offense, Ron, get Brock Berlin off to a fast start, and they haven't done that, but they've only been on the field 2 plays. Receivers beat man in the zone blitz. On defense, make quarterback Jay Davis beat you. Force some turnovers, NC State, because they've turned the ball over. They have 13 turnovers. So far in this football game, it's 1-0.
So the penalty has been stepped off. It is at the 29-yard line of the Miami Hurricanes, and they will snap the ball for their 3rd offensive play of the night. Screen almost intercepted by Manny Lawson. Boy, he was right there, and he is the speed rush in. In fact, they say he runs a sub 4.5. Mike?
And Ron, they think he's the fastest guy on this football team, but he's got big arms. So he's 6'5", and he gets his hands up there and knocks a lot of passes down. That play was open. He's very fortunate that he did tip that ball.
Frank Gore gets the handoff, loses the football. It's on the ground, and I believe Miami has recovered it at the 28-yard line. Again, Manny Lawson is the guy who disturbed the play and caused the fumble.
A lot of movement by the defensive line of North Carolina State. And Miami's offensive line did not pick it up.
Crowd really trying to help out the defense. 3rd down. They need to take it out to the 39-yard line. Berlin going to go on top. Got a man. Has it complete to Leggett. And that is something that a lot of people have talked about this week, that Miami would try to go big play against NC State, and they hit Leggett. It's a gain of 24 yards.
And Larry Coker and Dan Werner, the offensive coordinator, talking about Lance Leggett. They said he's the deep threat of this receiving core.
A.J. Davis came over to make the tackle. Leggett, a big target. An angular one, as you can see, at 6'4", only 174 pounds, out of Arlington, Texas. Frank Gore, as the flag comes down, takes it right up the middle, has 5, has 10, counted off at 13 yards. And you know, that may have been a towel that came out, because I don't see a flag. Nope. Devontae Edwards, who was a little bit questionable for tonight's ball game with the knee. He didn't work out until Thursday of this week. He injured it last week in the Maryland ball game. Came over to make the tackle.
Frank Gore's got to get hot for this Miami offense too. They need the running game to take some pressure off Berlin.
Coaches make no bones about it. Frank Gore is the heart and soul of this offensive team, and in fact, the entire team for that matter. Got a tight end, wide open, right down the middle. It's Everett, and Everett is going to be tackled inside the 20-yard line by Maddox. And let's go back and check in with Reese Davis.
And Ron, on the subject of finding your tight end, Vince Young does that for Texas against Texas Tech. Nice little short throw to David Thomas. He'll take it in, and the Lubbock Statistician Society still being overworked, Ron, is 21-14 Longhorns.
That's a big touchdown for that youngster, because his dad is superintendent of the school system in Friendship, which is not too far from the Lubbock area. Our situation, 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Short drop, throws the fade, near sideline, and incomplete as Roscoe Parrish, the intended receiver, and now the flag comes in.
Ron, they're going to call interference on Edwards, number 14. Roscoe Parrish, who's 5'8", 5'9", tried to come back for the football. Like this play call by Dan Werner, the offensive coordinator, on 1st down, trying to hit the fade for the touchdown. Got bump and run man out there by Edwards. Edwards tweaked a knee last week in the Maryland game.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he didn't work out until Thursday of this week. Didn't know if he'd be able to go or not. He said we'd see a lot of A.J. Davis tonight, which he normally plays quite a bit anyway.
This is a good drive by Miami to answer NC State's score.
Ball is placed down at the 2-yard line. 1st down for the Hurricanes. Frank Gore hit at the line of scrimmage, and in fact he's hit behind the line. Is going to lose one as Oliver Hoyt, who leads this Wolfpack team in tackles, comes up to hit him first.
And Ron, Bob Davie told me this week he had the NC State against Virginia Tech, and he watched the football game, commented on it, but he talked to me about the defensive line of North Carolina State. He said he was real impressed with their defensive line. They do have some good players in that defensive line.
Buttering Hill, the fullback. You can see number 3, Frank Gore, lined up behind him as Olsen goes in motion and want to throw. Corner of the end zone. Did he bring it down? Nope, couldn't hold on. And that was Ortega, number 15, the junior out of Miami, Gulliver Prep High School, and it was a little bit behind him.
Well thrown by Brock Berlin to Ortega. Faked, the tight end gets out. Corner route, he's open. Can't get turned around to make the catch. North Carolina State defense would win this if they could force the field goal.
Yeah, this would be a huge mental lift for the Wolfpack if they can do it right here. Brock Berlin, 13 of 20 this season in the red zone, 72 yards, and you can see 4 touchdowns. 3rd and goal. They throw the quick pass, look in, touchdown, Roscoe Parrish.
What good call. Down the goal line, you think about quick screens down there. It's just excellent call by Larry Coker to get Roscoe Parrish on that quick screen. Opened up perfect.
So John Petty, the sophomore out of Clearwater, comes on to attempt the extra point, trying to put Miami back on top in this one, 14-10. Good pass, good hold, and he does it. So with 5 minutes and 22 seconds left in this opening quarter, Miami goes back on top. Mike.
Roscoe Parrish is going to stop, come back inside, gets a good block, and now nobody in front of him for the touchdown. You saw the defensive hands of Manny Lawson almost tipped that football.
Lawson is really a terror, and particularly if you're throwing to that side of the line, because if you don't chop him at 6'5" with his athletic ability, you could see how high he was up with both hands.
A lot of quick passes that tackle, fire out low, and try to bring the hands of the defensive end, Manny Lawson, down.
I don't know if you got to see game day today, but a nice story on Roscoe Parrish and what he went through last year after that really tough hit that he took in the Florida State game. Wound up spending some time in the Tallahassee hospital, had some internal bleeding, and you know, that was last year. This is now, and everybody says he is the toughest guy. They've always told him he was too small, too little, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Well, the head coach says he's got the biggest heart on the team. So do his teammates.
He may be small and little, but he has wheels. That guy can run, Roscoe Parrish. Good story on Stephon LaFleur, the quarterback of Louisville, too, also on game day.
So Monroe prepares to kick this one off. Along with the Bobby Washington back deep for NC State. Here comes Monroe. This one is short. It's one of those quick spinners, and going to be caught at the 17-yard line and back up the sideline. 30, 35 behind a wall of blockers, and that's going to wind up as a very good field position. It was John Dunlap, reserve wide receiver, who got the return. Tonight at midnight, Reese Davis, Trev Alberts, and Mark Bay bring you all of the news, notes, and highlights in College Game Day Final, presented by Pontiac. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
My favorite show. I like watching that show.
Yep.
They do a great job. They got every highlight you want to see.
Well, we still got 5 minutes left in this one in the opening quarter, and we've already had a lot of highlights, Mike.
T.A. McClendon at quarterback.
McClendon takes the direct snap, and he will take it for a gain of 10 and count it off at 2 more. A dozen to the 49.
And that's a single wing play. They moved the tight end back there to T.J. Williams. There's the tight end. There's the tailback. Single wing offense. And Chuck Amato pulling out all the tricks.
So Jay Davis on the sideline. Is this Marcus Stone? Number 9, Marcus Stone, and it's going to be a quarterback draw. And he'll take it for another gain of 12 yards. Rocky McIntosh with back-to-back tackles, but NC State trying to do some things to really surprise the Hurricanes.
Yeah, quarterback draw against 5 guys, so you have 5 offensive linemen blocking 5 defensive players. And that's a good way to get your backup quarterback in the game.
Marcus is a freshman out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. 6'4", 228 pounds. Again from the shotgun, swings this pass out, but too high for McClendon.
Jay Davis took 2 plays off, and they all of a sudden come in with T.A. McClendon, then Marcus Stone.
There's John Davis, Jay's father. As we mentioned, he was Jay's high school coach. And in fact, we're told he has coached several teams in the county and has a really good reputation. Good football man. And
Jay Davis, the quarterback, wants to be a coach.
You know
like his dad.
He may be smart, Mike. He's a psychology major, and he wants to be a coach. McClendon bangs his way inside the 35 down to the 34. Merriweather, the free safety, is there to make the tackle.
And one thing that Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator of North Carolina State, has done here in the first quarter, seems like the first half, but the first quarter, is keeping Miami's defense alert, off balance with all the different things he's doing on offense.
Randy Shannon said to us in our meeting with him earlier this week, he said, when this young defense communicates, we're fine. But when we try to get out there and ad-lib and don't communicate, that's when we get in trouble. Pass for the far sideline. Did he catch it? Intercepted. Anthony Reddick got the football going away from us. Hard to tell if the receiver came down with it, and Reddick with a nearly impossible interception.
Ron, he missed the open receiver. I'm going to show you Richard Washington wide open coming across. Watch him come across the same pass he caught on the touchdown. He's the other guy. I circled the wrong guy. Richard Washington wide open in the middle. My mistake.
This is a heck of a play right there, and Wu, I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't know if he caught it.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it hit the ground. Anyway, a heck of an effort. It is Miami's football at the 13-yard line. Brock Berlin and company try to get it going again. Gore turns the sideline, 10, 15, finally bumped out of bounds, and Marcus Hudson is the man who bumped him out after a gain of 21. What do you think here, Mike, on a replay?
Didn't catch it.
No, it hit the ground. Yep.
Here you're going to see it again. Ball hits the ground.
Yep.
Replay.
Oh, don't say that. So turnovers tonight. Miami 1 and NC State 1. Miami with the first down, and they have two tight ends, Everett and Greg Olson. It's Olson in motion. Transfer out of Notre Dame. The blitz, and they pick it up nicely. Berlin, one-on-one coverage, and he overthrew his intended receiver. And let's check in once again with Reese Davis.
All right, Ron Miller taking us down to Georgia and Arkansas. 3rd and 2 play. Dogs up by 3. David Green stumbling, and now David Green fumbling. And going the other way is Marcus Harrison. And a Wu pick. Hogs up by 4 at the break on the Dogs.
Talk about Georgia and Florida. They have that game next week. Both of them, you know.
You think could have been peeking ahead?
Mississippi State, good win for them. Sylvester Croom.
Berlin 3 of 7 tonight, 45 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 10. He gives it to Gore, tripped up in the backfield, maintains his footing, and is going to be knocked down, and maybe a gain of a half-yard by Manny Lawson. Manny also on that last play was the one applying the pressure on the long pass to Darnell Jenkins.
Manny's been active here in the first quarter. There's Manny right here. Inside move on the offensive tackle was not blocked. So quick on that first step.
6'5", 220. Really kind of a string beam, but boy, he's quick. And the long arms makes him difficult in passing plays. Pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Marcus Hudson. Hudson coming from his free safety position as they were concentrating on the outside, trying to double on Lawson. And nice call defensively to come on the blitz.
Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator, brings Hudson, deflects the football, and forces Miami to punt.
First punt of the night for Miami. Tremaine Hall is the deep man. Monroe the punter, and they got it. And the ball will hit and still rolling. Actually takes a Miami bounce. It'll be at the 47-yard line. And guess who? Manny Lawson is the man who got a piece of the ball, and there was a flag down.
10 block kicks last year for North Carolina State.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the offense. We have a dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defense. The defender is going to offset. First down.
Chuck Amato talked about the kicking game so far. He's had a kickoff return for a touchdown. He blocks a punt, returns an onside kick. Manny Lawson right in there. There's the personal fouls.
Yeah, that was Mario Williams who got tangled up with one of the Miami players, and he was part of the offsetting penalties.
Great field position by North Carolina State this first quarter.
They got to take advantage of it. That's the biggest thing. Draw play, TA, and he goes inside the 35, and he's down to the 34. McIntosh with his third tackle in the last few moments. It's a gain of 14 yards.
That's why the coaches talk about they're a different team with T.A. McClendon when he's healthy. 32 touchdowns.
You see that average almost 5 yards per try. Third in NC State history. T.A. McClendon. He's shown he can catch the ball and he can run it. Right up the middle. Big opening. 20, 15, at the 10. Loses the football, and it's going to go out of the end zone. That's a touchback. A turnover against NC State, and it'll cost them as the Hurricanes will have the ball.
Brandon Merriweather with a big play. That was big for Miami's defense.
Well, here it is in real time, and you see Merriweather strip the ball, and boy, no matter you had possession, if it goes out the corner or the back of the end zone, touchback. So such momentum for NC State, and then all of a sudden, poof, they give it right back.
We've had everything happen in this first quarter. Still got a couple minutes.
Tyrone Moss comes into ball game at tailback for the Hurricanes. They fake it to him. Berlin going to go long at far sideline. Got his man Parrish, and Roscoe Parrish will be across midfield, and let's see, they step him out of bounds at the 43, 37 yards. And Mike, for those who hinted that part of the arsenal this week would be go long, they were exactly right.
Roscoe Parrish is going to get behind too deep. The safety sitting back here can't get there. Brock Berlin with a great throw against two deep man. Stop and go move against Lamont Reed. Pretty pattern.
This is amazing. 2 plays ago, NC State on the verge of scoring, and right now a 37-yard pass completion, and Miami on the offense, and they have the ball as they move it down to the 40-yard line of NC State. Autry Lindsay making the tackle on number 30, Tyrone Moss.
Talked about Brock Berlin getting off to a good start. He's been hot on the long passes.
Take a look at McClendon on the sideline. He was really punishing himself for that turnover. The coaches don't have to tell him how big it was. And his teammates were coming over consoling him, saying, hey, we'll go back and do it again. Second down, Miami. They need to take it to the 33-yard line. Blitz right up the middle. Berlin fumbles the football and very wisely doesn't try to pick it up. He just recovers it at the 47-yard line.
Just dropped the football. He's dropping back, and the football comes loose.
You know what? He also ran into, I think, Tyrone Moss. Didn't he brush him right here? No, he didn't. He just dropped it. You're right.
Football.
Sorry, Tyrone. I was not trying to point a finger at you. Third down, still need to take it down to the 33-yard line to keep this drive going. Crowd is up and making a lot of noise. Berlin right down the middle. The ball is tipped and intercepted. Troy Graham with the pickoff at after the ball was tipped, he was going for Kevin Everett, the tight end.
Maddox was in on the play. Hudson and Maddox. What Brock Berlin is trying to do is get the ball to the tight end against two deep coverage. Kevin Everett.
That's a really good play.
Hudson with a good play.
I'm telling you, he timed it perfectly, watching the football all the way, tipped it in the air, hoping that his teammate would get to it. And that's exactly what happened. And now we're tied at 2 in the turnover department. 17 seconds left in this opening quarter. Davis, Washington, midfield. Miami gets some help, and they make the tackle at the 20-yard line. Merriweather got him.
Play action fake. Excellent by Jay Davis. You see Richard Washington wide open. Did he step out of bounds? Yes.
So it's going to wind up being a gain of 34 instead of what they would have had 26 more yards. It would have been a 60-yard play, but he did.
Talk about wide open, though.
Richard Washington, great compliment from his coaches. Noel Mazzone said he really is becoming a leader. He's stepping up the way we need him to do so. So from the 46 of Miami. Dunlap in motion. They go with the running play. T.A. McClendon fighting hard down to the 40-yard line. It'll be second down and short, and that is the end of the opening quarter. So let's take a timeout. 14-10, Miami on top.
Last time on Dream Job.
Anish, yeah.
Welcome back to Raleigh. 14-10, Miami on top. First quarter, Miami 111 total yards. NC State 174.
There's the defense.
I started to say, I doubt Randy is real pleased with that quarter. 174 yards given up. But they still lead it. McClendon big open. 30, 25, and he's going to be tackled inside the 20 by Andrell Roll.
Boy, that hole open. Well, Chris Palmer with a good block. Watch this block right down inside by Comer. Nobody outside for T.A. McClendon.
Well, Greg Threep was cheating up, and the running back just ran right by him. McClendon 5 yards away from having the century tonight. 9 for 95. Davis gets it away under pressure, throws it for the touchdown in the left corner of the end zone to Tremaine Hall. McCray had his hands all over the quarterback, and he still had the poise to get it away.
Jay Davis coming along as quarterback. More confidence in the last 2 weeks.
And Tremaine Hall, another one of these youngsters from the state of Florida. So a special moment for him out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. Randy with the extra point attempt, trying to make it a 3-point Wolfpack lead, and he does. And his dad's got to be feeling good right now.
Tremaine Hall is going to come across. He's the inside receiver. The action's going to come across. And Tremaine Hall is going to come open. With all that action in the backfield, somebody from Miami lost Tremaine Hall in coverage. Looks like Greg Threep.
That'll be 2 plays in a row that he was on a different page.
The wrong page.
Yep.
It's a shootout offensively. North Carolina State has really looked good to me offensively. good plan by Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator. They're working this defense of Miami.
Well, tonight's game track is brought to you by Pioneer. This is the way the evening started. Hester with his 4th return for a touchdown this year, officially 100 yards on the opening kickoff. Then Washington, little crossing route, had him open on the same route, and the number 2 quarterback did not pick him up, and he wound up with an interception. Then Miami comes right back with Roscoe Parrish with that corner touchdown at the end of the first quarter. So we did have, Mike, just a little bit of everything. They had a block punt, 100-yard kick return, 4 turnovers. Durani's kick, high and short, coming down at the 20-yard line. Jenkins is finally going to be forced out of bounds around the 20. And Aaron Andrews, let's check back with you.
Well, Ron, another fun connection in tonight's game. How about NC State assistant coach Manny Diaz? He is the son of Miami's mayor, Manny Diaz Sr. Now, for decades, Diaz Sr. can be seen roaming the sidelines during Miami home games. He's a huge Canes fan. But this week, he says it's about blood, it's about family. I'm rooting for the Wolfpack. I spoke with Coach Manny Diaz, and he told me his dad had to get his own ticket for this game. He's up there in the Miami section. We're going to talk to him in a bit, Ron.
That's a pretty neutral color. He's wearing blue. At the 38-yard line. Straight ahead with the handoff to Tyrone Moss, and he's going to have a gain of about 5 yards in the play. So what Miami forces you to do with a guy like Hester is you shorten the kickoff, you try to hit a coverage kick. So Miami's going to wind up with good field position or the home run. I mean, they're winner in this situation.
I wouldn't give them a home run. I'd make them get a single or a double, but they wouldn't get Hester to the football.
Berlin throws that one short and behind Greg Olson. And let's check in with Reese Davis back at the studio.
All right, Ron, and the #1 team in the land, #1 in the BCS standings, USC and Washington, only 10-0 early second half. Lendale White going in untouched, tackling optional for the Huskies on that play. It's now 24-0. Trojans about halfway through the third quarter, in control over the hapless Huskies. And Cal is laying it to Mike Stoops' team, 28-0. They are just at the half. Aaron Rodgers, 3 more touchdowns, guys.
Our situation, NC State 17-14 over the 3rd-ranked Miami Hurricanes. Berlin under pressure, drops the pass off. It's going to be good for the first down as he gets it to Darnell Jenkins. And Darnell, the sophomore out of Miami Central, takes it across the 50.
A lot of pressure. When you bring pressure, you have to man up or zone blitz and leave an uncovered zone. Darnell Jenkins becomes open because Brock Berlin bought time.
There's young Manny Diaz. He's the safeties coach and also the coach of special teams, the coordinator of special teams. This is father we showed you just a moment ago, the mayor of Miami. They fake the draw, blitz up the middle. Berlin gets rid of it, and that'll just be incomplete. Crowd wanted grounding, but it's not. It was outside the tackle box, threw it beyond the line of scrimmage. Oliver Hoyt was the man applying the pressure.
You watch this, and Miami picks the blitz up, but Brock Berlin all of a sudden now comes off the block and throws the ball away. Oliver Hoyt, as you said, he was blocked, but he came off the block.
Oliver Hoyt leads this Wolfpack team in tackles, but it is Manny Lawson who leads the team in tackles for a loss and also in sacking of the quarterback. Second down. They need the 38 of NC State. Pass hit at the line of scrimmage and knocked down again by Manny Lawson.
At that big span, when you're 6'5", flag on the field.
Offside against the Wolfpack. So instead of 3rd down and 10, it's going to be 2nd down and 5.
Caught it on Manny Lawson. He doesn't have to be offside as big as he is. Starts out, gets his hands up, almost like a basketball player.
I'll tell you, to show you what kind of athlete he is, he was still on his way up when he almost made the pick off of that pass. 2nd down and 5. Blitz coming again, flags all over the place. Maybe a free 1st down for the Miami Hurricane.
I don't know if they moved or not. McMeans or Butler may have moved on offense.
Right to the snap, false start, 68, offense, 5 yards, 2nd down.
Tyler McMeans, the right guard, because all that movement by the defense, and they're coming with a blitz, and watch the right guard just bob up. He's trying to block the blitz before the ball snapped.
So back to 2nd down and 10. You see the penalties, 3 against each team. Berlin, screen, threw it a little bit hard. It'll go incomplete. But I'll tell you, it might be a good thing that he threw it a little hard, because, boy, defensively, Wolfpack had it covered on the short side of the field.
When I look at this defensive plan, Ron, Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator, good plan, because I believe he's pressuring Brock Berlin where he can't get settled to throw the ball.
3rd down and 10. 5 of 14, 92 yards, 1 touch, and 1 interception for Berlin. Steps up right over the middle, got it complete. Little screen from the umpire, and he's tackled short of the 1st down.
They'll give you that on 3rd down.
Akeem Jola on the crossing route, and he got hit by Andre Maddox, who we talked with yesterday, one of the real hitters in this secondary for the NC State Wolfpack. And it is punting time. This is the first official punt for Monroe since that initial one was blocked. It's a fake right up the middle. They run the ball, and that's Quadrine Hill, and Hill still fighting. He'll take it inside the 20 to the 16-yard line.
Good job by Brian Monroe, the kicker, to jump up like the ball was snapped over his head. Larry Coker saying, you want to trick me, I'll trick you.
That's one of those gotchas, isn't it?
And here's Brian Monroe, the kicker. You need him to be an actor to draw everybody up the field. He does a great job.
Yeah, he really did. And it was blocked well right there in the middle. You could see not just a crease, but a huge opening. And Hill went right on through. 1st down, Miami. New line of scrimmage, the 16 of NC State. Here they come creeping up again, and the handoff goes straight ahead to Tyrone Moss. Going to go for short yardage to the 15.
I was just thinking about one thing here. The whole playbook has been shown in this 1st half. Big punts, onside kicks, reverses. I mean, everything has been here in the 1st half.
You know, I have to wonder. They use Tyrone Moss a lot, but we have not seen Gore since early in the ball game, and they have been talking about how many carries he can get a ball game, and I have to wonder if maybe he got shaken up in that 1st quarter. Here's Moss again, back into the boundary. He'll take it inside the 10-yard line, and he is going to be short of the 1st down by, let's say, about 3.5 yards.
One thing they want to do with Frank Gore is rest him, because they need him for the whole ball game. Dan Warner, the offensive coordinator, said he'd like to give him some rest, spell him, so he's got him in the 2nd half.
He said, I asked him, I said, last week, the number 20 came up, and he said, that to me is a very comfortable number. We'd like to get him 20 carries a ball game. 10th play of the drive by Miami. 3rd down, they need the 6. Here comes blitz right up the middle. Berlin on the the mark with the pass at the 2, at the 1, touchdown Moss. Sonoris Moss, the junior out of Miami Carroll City.
A great catch. Now the ball was thrown right on the money, but that was covered by NC State. Moss with great concentration to make this catch. They just keep bringing receivers out there. He's 5'8", 182. Great concentration.
Petty to attempt the extra point, trying to make it a 21-17 ball game, and he does, as you see it right down the heart. So we'll take a timeout. Scoreboard clock shows 10:18 to play in this opening half, and it's 21-17 following this touchdown pass right here, perfectly thrown, and Sonoris Moss fights his way into the end zone. Good throw by Berlin. We'll be right back. Tonight's Aflac trivia question: who was Miami's leading rusher at its last game at Carter Finley Stadium? And answer a little bit later on, and I can tell you this, it's a little bit of a trick question.
I have no idea.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Reed and Washington, the two deep men. Brian Monroe prepares to kick it off. As Brock Berlin spending quite a time on the phone over there. 10 plays, 62 yards, 4 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock on that one for Miami. The return by Washington. Runs into his own man, and a flag comes from deep downfield. He brought it back to the 27 as Miami saying that they got a fumble, and as the officials unpiled them,
they do.
Miami football.
On the return, holding, receiving team. Penalty is declined. We had a fumble recovered by Miami. First down.
Well, you talk about, again, we've seen it all here in the first half. The fumble, the strip, and Miami with good field position.
You get another look at it right here. He was on his way down, but the ball was on the ground before his knees came down. And so the Miami Hurricanes take it over with excellent field position at the 27-yard line. Not really sure what the crowd is buzzing and booing about here, but clearly on the replay it shows fumble. Berlin goes for it all on down number 1. Touchdown Roscoe Parrish, his second of the night. Good for 27 yards. So the third turnover of the night against NC State. They are bitten again because of the turnover.
When you have a fumble or you have an intercepted pass, you got great field position like that. That's a great call because all of a sudden your defense is sitting on the sideline expecting the offense to go out. They have to go out. Sudden change. You hit them with a long pass like that. That's a great call.
Petty to attempt the extra point, trying to make this an 11-point ball game, and we'll take a timeout. 10 minutes and 4 seconds left until the halftime. And as we go to break, one more look at Brock Berlin. And boy, for those dissenters of this young man, you got to kind of back off a little bit. He has thrown the ball very well tonight. Touchdown Roscoe Parrish, his second of the evening. We'll be right back.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Have a look at the State Fair here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The next to the last evening. In fact, we understand it's going to be a heck of a fireworks display that comes around 9:45. We've already had a lot of fireworks over here. I don't know if they've seen them, but boy.
They've heard them.
Yep. Brian Monroe to kick it off. And this one is returnable from the 4-yard line. It's Marcus Hudson. And it breaks off the tackle at the 20. Still running. and finally will be stopped at around the 25-yard line. Darnell Jenkins, one of the reserve wide receivers playing on special teams, made the tackle. Mike, what happened here?
Ron, if you're sitting at home right now, you're saying, why is these receivers running free? Watch Lamont Reed peek in here and be affected by the run fake, and all of a sudden he's supposed to be back in center field in deep half, and Roscoe Parrish is beating the corner. See, for Miami and the North Carolina State defensive backs peeking a little bit because T.A. Washington is running, McClendon's running the ball real well. The fake of Brock Berlin right there just froze Lamont Reed just long enough for Roscoe Parrish to beat the corner man coverage and run the corner route.
So the influence was just exactly the way it was designed to be. We have 2 flags on the field, and the discussion goes on as they talk with Jay Davis. Take door number 2. Good.
Well, I think what you have to have in the officiating is, I know you want to get it right, but I like to see a little bit more jogging or running and less walking out of the officials. And I know they have a tough job, but the momentum of the game is interrupted.
We had encroachment. Kicking team. We're going to mark off 5 yards against the kicking team. Then we had a dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 4 against the receiving team. We're going to mark off the 15 yards against the receiving team.
Okay, didn't get a number there on who the personal foul was on. I can tell you this, I can give you a stat right now. We got 10 minutes left until halftime. This is normally a stat reserved for the 4th quarter. We've already had 4 lead changes in this ball game. A little bit of everything, as Mike said.
Momentum. And the defensive backs getting lost, peeking in on the running. And I think North Carolina State has done a good job dissecting the Miami defense, chunks along the way. Miami's done a great job of hitting the long passes against North Carolina State's defense.
You know, Mike, after we were just about done with that conversation with Larry Coker this past Wednesday, it's one of the questions that I asked him. Last year, he was really bemoaning the fact that there was no vertical game, that Miami was having to work too hard on offense, no home run. Well, now they have put the vertical game and the home run back into their vocabulary.
Well, I'd say they're hitting a lot.
Yep.
It's like the Boston Red Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals. They hit a long ball.
Reed and Blackman, the 2 deep men. And this one is going to go 5 yards deep, and they will not return it. And Aaron Andrews, let's check back with you.
Well, Ron, I'm here with the mayor of Miami, Manny Diaz. You said early this week, well, you told me today you're a huge Canes fan, but you said this week it's about blood, it's about family. I'm cheering for NC State. What kind of backlash have you gotten in the city?
Well, you know, I've gotten a lot of jokes, but I'm not here in my official capacity. I'm here as a father who loves his son and is very proud of his son. And
you also said you're the mayor, so what could you do to those people?
Well, I am the mayor, and hopefully they won't criticize me too much.
Now, wearing a very neutral color, but in the Miami section, how have you been able to handle their last touchdown?
Well, I think they all know. I think they're all friends, and we're here to see a good game. A lot more offense than we expected, but it's been a great game so far.
You're a very good friend with Coach Coker. What did he say to you when he found out you were going to cheer for NC State this weekend?
Well, I've been getting razzed, but hopefully someday my son will be coaching at the University of Miami.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Ron?
Okay, Aaron. I'm sure that his dad, that would be a dream come true if Manny were able to move one day back to home territory and be right there with the rest of the family. Obviously, he's doing a nice job here at NC State. For Chuck Amato. Davis, wow, almost as though he did not see McIntosh coming, and McIntosh made him pay.
Yeah, Randy Shannon's trying to figure out how to slow this offense down. You're going to see number 50 come on a delayed stunt right here and make the tackle on Davis. McIntosh.
Sanders said the other day, the thing we want him to do is he speaks with his play, but we want him to be more vocal.
He's
but he's not a talker. But he said that he's a little bit older, and you know, we need him to be a leader. Second down and 16. Under 9 minutes to play in his opening half. And not much going this time as they take it straight up the middle with McClendon.
That goes back to what you said earlier in this football game. When they have problems on defense, Miami, they have it because they don't communicate. They're a young defensive football team. Remember, all those guys that played last year in the NFL this year. But he said he needs to get Roger McIntosh. Even though he's shy, he's got to do more verbalizing on the football field.
You know, Mike, it sounds like such a simple thing about communicate. But when kids are young and still feeling their way, they got to experience the situation. And then they become more verbal as they get older. And now the timeout's going to be called by Jay Davis. Play clock was running down. They have one timeout left. We'll take a break. Miami, an 11-point lead, just over 8 minutes till halftime. Well, the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question: who was Miami's leading rusher at its last game at Carter Finley Stadium? A little bit of a trick question, as I told you. It's Clinton Portis, 147 yards. But remember, it was against East Carolina, 1999. That's when Hurricane Floyd came through. There was a flood at East Carolina. Couldn't play the game over there, so they came over here to Carter Finley. Clinton Portis, 147 yards. East Carolina won that ball game also. Davis moves around, gets the pass away, and it is caught by T.J. Williams, the tight end. He went up in traffic and brought that one down.
Tried to get T.J. Williams against the safety. All of a sudden, you're going to get the motion out of the backfield. And now watch the tight end against the safety and linebacker. Linebacker turn on him. T.J. Williams, they say, may be one of the best tight ends in the country before he graduates.
Yep, they say the biggest thing, he's learning to block, but boy, you could see the ability right there. McClendon hit behind the line of scrimmage by Thomas Carroll, and he is going to be stopped for no gain. One of the few times that has happened tonight.
Yeah, Thomas Carroll took the running back right away on that play, and I'm sure the coaches up here in the press box are going to be looking to call that again and keep Jay Davis with the football.
Marcus Stone, number 9, checks in at quarterback. You see the 6'4" youngster out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And that's what they're going to do, right up the middle. Quarterback draw, runs over a defensive back and close to the first down. In fact, he's going to have it at the 39-yard line. 3 came up to make the tackle. He just took him on and bolted him back.
Again, a nice call because you spread out the defense. Marcus Stone hurt a little bit. Spread out the defense, pull the guard. Newby, number 78, hit the quarterback draw up there inside.
And the youngster comes up limping, so he is back to the sideline.
Special plays for this game. The draw set that's been run twice against this defense.
Jay Davis reports back into the lineup. Stepping up into the pocket, ran right into the arms of the defensive lineman, and that's Thomas Carroll along with 98 Baraka Atkins.
Ron, they tried to go to Richard Washington, covered. Jay Davis pulls the ball down, and then the rush got to him. Young defense of Miami. I'm sure Randy Shannon's going to talk to the secondary about peaking on the running game with McClendon, number 44, and letting go of their wide receivers.
Officially, with that last tackle by Thomas Carroll, we have him for 5 on the evening. Second down and 12. They need to take it down to the Miami 29-yard line. Single back, and they'll give it to him. McClendon, big head of steam inside the 35-yard line, and he puts them in a position where they can pick up the first down. Greg Freed is there to make the tackle, and they spot him down.
Run the draw on him. T.A. McClendon, you see the nice blocking downfield by James Newby.
Third down, and they need about 2. Under 5.5 minutes to play until halftime. McClendon over 100 yards. Got most of that in the opening quarter. They send him way out to the right, top of your screen. Pass right over the middle, and it is knocked down. I think the defender got a hand on it. 3. As they couldn't hook up with Richard Washington, and Richard getting up a little slowly.
Trying to get those linebackers. When you move McClendon outside, you're trying to hit the inside route against the linebacker, Richard Washington. Just threw it too far.
49-yard field goal attempt by Durante. His longest is 53. You can see it's right in the middle of the field.
Larry Coker with a timeout, Ron.
Miami.
I'm sure he's thinking.
Charge timeout. This half.
Thinking about all those fakes he's seen.
Well, we'll take a break. Miami on top by 11. So we are back, and Mike's point is very well taken. Miami looks at a situation 49 yards in this day and time with the really good strong legs and accurate kickers that we have coming out of high school programs where they played soccer. It is not a mountain to climb like it used to be, but with the fakes that they have seen tonight, you can understand why Larry Coker wanted to make sure. Is this a safety team that's on there then?
No, he's going to alert them about the faking. Here's the other thing he's going to alert them to. Don't be offside. Don't give them a first down. You got timeouts right now. Use it. Bring the defense over. Remind them about those 2 issues.
So Durante, now he's coming back to the sideline. And it looks as though they're going to go for it. And Marcus Stone comes in at tailback, or quarterback, I should say.
Quarterback rollout.
Faked it to McClendon, and he's not going to have it. That is McIntosh who got to him first, and he missed it by 1.5 yards.
Tried to roll the quarterback out. Marcus Stone, when he comes on the field, he's run 2 draws, and now he runs a quarterback roll to the left after the fake to T.A. McClendon. But Roger McIntosh having none of that.
Give him credit. He has got some big tackles tonight, but staying at home and reading what was going on. And so the ball comes over on downs to Miami, and they have 5:07 to work with, and already an 11-point lead. Let's see if that play right there comes back to haunt NC State.
Need to get the ball to Frank Gore here a little bit.
Well, Frank is back on the field, number 3 at tailback, and they give it to him. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. Still fighting. He'll be stopped for a 1-yard loss. Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
All right, Ron, we'll check in once again now. Georgia and Arkansas. Hogs up 14-10. David Green for his tight end, Leonard Pope. And the Dogs have regained the lead. Shootout going on in Fayetteville, getting deep in the third. Georgia by 3.
Our situation, 28-17. Miami on top. About to hit 4.5 minutes left until halftime. Here you see the blitz coming. They pick up one of them, and the pass is caught by the tight end Greg Olson, and Olson is going to be close to the first down. I mentioned earlier that he transferred from Notre Dame. As you look at Brock Berlin is limping back just a bit. Greg was coached by his father in high school as well.
Greg Olson, as you said, went to Notre Dame, but he was in the high school camp of the Miami Hurricanes. Rolled up on the leg of Brock Berlin. Miami coaches knew Olsen because of the team.
They think he can turn into one of the great tight ends in college football. They hand it off to Gore. Has a blocker in front, and Frank Gore will have the first down, plus about 4 more yards. Marcus Hudson comes over to make the tackle. And Olsen with a good job of blocking on the play.
What Frank Gore makes this play because he's patient. Stays behind the blockers. Watch him as he gets up inside there. Stays behind the blockers, finds the crease, gets the first down.
You can see Olsen out there blocking.
First half recap here. We've had a lot of offense.
79 total yards, 5 turnovers, 45 total points, and 8 penalties. Hester in the ball game at wide receiver, and that's who they're trying to go to, and he's been forced out of bounds up the near side of the field, being covered by Lamont Reed.
I got a feeling that the defensive coordinators are going to have a lot of work at halftime.
Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Aaron Andrews coming to you from Carter Finley Stadium at Raleigh, North Carolina. Big goings on here in this part of the state. The State Fair winding down tonight and tomorrow. This is the final weekend, and in fact, a huge fireworks display is due in about 13 minutes from now. If we're at halftime at that time, it probably would be a more compatible situation, wouldn't it, Michael? Second down. Berlin steps up, zings it over the middle, and incomplete as the ball is knocked away at the 41. Leggett, the intended receiver, and again, Lamont Reed with the cover.
I was kidding Chuck Amato. I said, you haven't told Miami that fireworks is coming. He said, oh, no, they know. I'm sure they're going to be surprised when it goes off.
Well, they'll be in the locker room, it would appear right now. We have 3:05 to play until intermission. Crowd coming up and trying to help out the defense. 3rd down and 10. Berlin gonna run it and is tripped up, caught for the ankle after a gain of 4 by Dwayne Herndon. And Herndon may have saved a first down.
Good job by Brock Berlin trying to get up inside. He was trying to get Roscoe Parrish, but they didn't allow him to come across the middle.
So Monroe stands back to punt. Tremaine Hall is the deep man. Very high, wobbly kick to the far sideline, and Hall let it go. Uh-oh. And this ball, did he maintain control? Yes, he did at the 1-yard line. Antrell Roll. 50 yards in the kick, and to add insult to injury, NC State's going to have horrible field position.
Now, that's the kind of kick you want. Monroe got the bounce. Looked like his foot, but he still saved it.
It's the ball, not the foot.
I knew that. But Roll did a good job.
Now see, the crowd is reacting because the pro rule says one thing, the college rule says another. Ball never broke the plane. That is a touchback.
Miami still has 2 timeouts.
Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
All right, Ryan, coming up on the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report, Trev and Mark with me. We'll talk more about that monumental SEC upset, Big Ten clash between Michigan and Purdue, and the Noles had a close call.
And that fantastic freshman group of Michigan will tell you what kind of day they had today.
How about the other undefeated team in the Big Ten, Wisconsin, the best defense, guys?
Maybe the best defense around, fellas.
And they did it without Mr. James. Straight ahead with a running play, just trying to get a little room to take a breath. Orrin Harris is there to make the stop on McClendon. McClendon has had a good first half, but that first quarter he was devastatingly good, Mike.
Miami's done a better job on him in the second quarter. Miami still, I believe, has 2 timeouts, so they'll use it after this play.
Running play, McClendon, big opening, and he's loose again. 15, 20, and out to around the 23-yard line. 3 to on the tackle, but what an effort, and a gain of 21 yards.
I talked about the timeouts. Forget about them now. T.A. McClendon does a good job of spinning. Good power. You see why they're a different team with him in the backfield.
That's the reason his head coach said, as you gave, and what had to happen tonight for the Wolfpack to be successful, and that is for them to have him the entire ball game. Davis will stop and go up the near sideline looking for Washington. Almost came down with it at the 44, but couldn't hold on. Merriweather with the cover.
Merriweather's made a couple big plays. Stripped the ball from McClendon and makes this play on Richard Washington.
Hawkins comes back into the lineup, number 32, and in fact, instead of in the backfield, they have him in a slot formation, top of your screen. If they go back with the running play with Reggie Davis, fresh legs, going to have a first down, and he'll have about 3 more yards beyond that before McIntosh makes the tackle. Reggie is a sophomore out of Tallahassee. Still trying to learn and find his way. They use him sparingly, but you could tell the fresh legs helped right there.
One of those guys from Florida that Aaron talked about early in the football game.
T.A. McClendon comes back into the lineup. Davis sets back in the pocket, throws it complete, and stepping out of bounds immediately is Hall.
Davis's pass over 5 yards.
So that stops the clock. 50 seconds left until halftime. Coming up next, the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report. Reese and the guys standing by back in Bristol. Jay Davis, the junior out of Clearwater, Florida. Looks at that Miami defense on a 2nd and 5 and throws right over the middle, and he just put that one absolutely perfectly to John Dunlap.
Jay Davis has had a good first half as his dad looks on. 1 timeout left for NC State.
Maxey had that play covered as well as you can without drawing a flag. That's how well the pass was thrown.
Ball was thrown well. They said he gained his confidence the second half of the Wake Forest game.
So on first down, good protection by the offensive line. Ball is tipped. Always dangerous when it is tipped right over the middle, as Marcus Maxey again in the lineup and made the defensive play. John Dunlap was who they were going for.
Ron, Jay Davis only played 12 plays last year because Phillip Rivers was here. So he's been on the sideline.
Well, 10 of 19, 154, 2 touchdowns and an interception. That's what Jay has done in the first half. He said the biggest thing that he learned last year from not being able to play was the poise and the cool of the young man who is now playing for the San Diego Chargers. Well, you hear the whistles.
One of the back judges blew the whistle. Maybe delay a game again.
You know, I don't see a flag, but you could sure hear the whistles. And since the play was allowed to go on, I thought maybe somebody in the stands had one.
Miami called timeout.
Please put 34 seconds on the clock.
So Miami called the timeout. We'll go back to 34 seconds on the clock.
You can call a timeout from the sideline.
That's right.
This year, but that was late. I'm not sure that play didn't start before the official blew the timeout.
34 seconds showing on the clock, and the officials come over and talk with Chuck Amato. Brock Berlin sitting with the warm-up top on. He's been one of those situations where the offense has had to sit for long periods of time because NC State has had some long and timely drives. And the temperature here tonight, it is not cold, as you see short sleeves right here on the part of Roscoe Parrish. But it is cool enough. Temperature is supposed to drop into the upper 40s by the end of this ball game tonight. And so for a quarterback to keep the body warm, you can see a receiver trying to keep his hands warm on the sideline. Lance Leggett, the youngster out of Arlington, Texas. Very, very comfortable, though. And it seems like the great kind of weekend to have the state fair going on.
A lot of things going on. Oh, waiting for the fireworks. What time is it?
It is, we're about 3.5 minutes away. 3.5 to 4 minutes. 8th play of the drive. It started at the 1-yard line.
Seen a lot of fireworks in this first half.
Yeah, no question. Pressure on Davis. Gets it out of the backfield. Crowd looking for a flag, and now here comes one.
Greg Treat.
Richard Washington is who they wanted, and you don't see much of a protest from Larry Coker.
Pass interference, 6 defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. The foul requires an automatic first down.
Here's another look as Richard Washington comes across.
You can see the left hand.
They're saying it's number 6, but it's number 5, Greg Treat, I believe.
Yeah. Number 6 was the intended receiver, Washington. Screen pass, McClendon. Boy, nice job defensively by the Hurricanes. Kareem Brown just played that as well as he could have played it. As if someone whispered in his ear, they can run a screen to your side.
You're right, Ron. Kareem Brown was right there and stopped that play from the start. Now North Carolina State uses their final timeout with 22 seconds left. So now you got to be able to get the first down, spike the ball, or throw the corner routes or the deep comeback routes where you're out of bounds to try to get set up for a field goal or still try to hit it. 6 points here.
Mike, we may hit those fireworks yet here. The clock is
counting on it.
Yeah. Just over 2 minutes. You'll know when 9:45 is here in the East, or here in Raleigh, North Carolina. If they're right on the mark with starting the fireworks. The fireworks are actually part of the fair, not the university.
I think both these teams in halftime have to settle their defenses down, especially the secondary.
151st annual North Carolina State Fair. Aaron was over there yesterday and saw some of the goings on, watched some of the judging of the animals and some of the young FHA boys and girls.
She's riding a merry-go-round too. We didn't get to go over.
I'm kind of glad we missed that assignment, Mike. 22 seconds we got showing on the clock. This game started tonight. Talk about fireworks. A 100-yard kick return by Devin Hester of the Miami Hurricanes. Didn't take you very long, and he was coast to coast. Caught it 5 yards deep, returned it. Officially, it's 100 yards as you take a look at the youngster. His 4th return for a touchdown with a return this year. It also had a huge field goal block against Florida State in that opening game of the season, helping provide the victory by the Hurricanes. Davis, the tailback, they fake it to him. Davis gets hit just as he delivers the pass, and it was too far for T.J. Williams. Now 18 seconds.
Talk about the pressure. Atkins, number 98, right in the face of Jay Davis. We talked to Braca.
Hey, you said what? Recruited by Florida. Ohio State, LSU,
Michigan State.
And he felt like it was family in Miami, and that's the reason he wanted to go with the Hurricanes.
He talked about the business school, but he talked about they're always a contender for the BCS.
Third down, they need to take the ball down to the 36-yard line. And 18 seconds remaining first half. Here comes pressure. Fumbles the football. It is picked up by Miami by Kareem Brown. And he rumbles toward the end zone. And he is going to be stopped just inside the 20 by Barrett. Now look at this turn of events. The fourth turnover of the night by NC State. Brown made the tackle, picked up the fumble. Miami now in a position to get points on the board.
Ron, you remember when Aaron talked about Santonio Thomas being hurt? Kareem Brown has come off the bench and really been a big factor in this second quarter.
I have to wonder if Kareem played running back at a time. Did you see him put the other hand over that ball and keep it from getting knocked away? That's pretty good for a defensive lineman. They're going to run one play before going for a field goal if they don't get it in the end zone. Here comes pressure, and Berlin is going to go down. And they'll stop the clock with 3 seconds left. Tank Tyler made the tackle on him.
Get a free shot at a three-point play here because of Kareem Brown. And Brock Berlin on that play, I believe everything was covered. He figures he'll get what he can get, set up the field goal attempt.
Well, we mentioned off the top of the telecast that one of the things that's been a problem for NC State, and it was turnovers. They had 5 against Ohio State, and played Ohio State, actually played a good ball game, but you just, that number of turnovers tonight, already 4. And
that's 17.
Boy. They came into tonight's ball game at a -8 when it comes to turnover ratio. Miami was 16 ahead of them. This is going to be a 36-yard attempt by John Petty. Matt Carter is the holder, number 11. Good pass, plenty of distance. Did he get it? Wide left. Marcus Hudson had good pressure on the play. I don't know if it disturbed the kicker Petty enough or not, but they head to the locker room after the first 20 minutes and almost 2 hours of football, and it is Miami 28, NC State 17. And let's go down to Aaron Andrews on the sideline. Aaron.
Coach, 4 turnovers in the first half. How do you address that during halftime?
I mean, they're killing us. We got to address it. That we've got to squeeze the ball. We've talked about it all week. They were really big ones going in and out of the end zone. It's just something it's a mental thing that's got to be corrected.
Miami's offense having success against the nation's #1 defense. How do you stop them in the second half?
Just keep coming after them. Just keep coming out and tackle.
Coach, thanks. Back up to you guys.
Okay, Aaron. Halftime is our score, 28-17 Miami. Now here's Reese Davis with the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report. Reese?
Oh, let's see.
Chris, thanks so much. You know, Mike, there's no coach in America that would not love to have 299 first half yards, which is what the Wolfpack has. But 4 turnovers, I don't care who you're going against, you really have just stabbed yourself in the heart.
Yeah, and you're going against Miami. 4 penalties, 4 turnovers. But I think NC State's still in this football game. McClendon, Davis, his play action passing game. Their defense got to tighten up a little bit. Got to quit peeking in at the running fakes by Brock Berlin. They got to go.
Well, let's take a look at those first half stats there. The numbers I was talking about, 299 yards. And but boy, that number on row number 3 to the right-hand side is the one that jumps out. The 4 turnovers by the Wolfpack.
They have run the football against Miami, which is a good sign for North Carolina State.
How about also 16 plays of 10 yards or more?
Big plays.
So Monroe to kick it off, and we're underway here in the second half. And it'll be returned from the 5 by Lamont Reed. And good coverage on the special teams as he will be stopped shy of the 20. Tonight's game track brought to you by Pioneer. Hester, 4th return for a touchdown this year. This is how we started this ball game just over 2 hours ago. Then T.A. McClendon shows you what he can do in the open field. Jones has the ball knocked away, and big Kareem Brown not only knocked it away, but he came up with the recovery and rambled it down in a position so they could have a field goal opportunity, and they missed it. So 28-17 is how we stand. Davis lobs it right over the middle to Washington, and he'll be tripped up after a gain of about 4 yards. Mike, what do you think went on in the NC State locker room?
They talked about defensively, quit giving up the big plays. Offensively, stay with the plan. I mean, their plan's good. They're running T.A. McClendon. They're hitting Richard Washington on crossing routes. They're hitting T.J. Williams, a tight end, against too deep. Pretty good plan in the first half.
McClendon tries right guard. Not much there. Kareem Brown down at the bottom of the stack. Aaron Andrews, let's check in with you.
Well, Ron, I had a chance to speak with Miami head coach Larry Coker as he was coming out of the dressing room, and he said the same thing. He expects the same from NC State, that they will be doing the same on offense, which is why he said his defense needs to pick up the attack. He feels they've been way too passive. Also, an injury report for Miami's offensive line. Right tackle Tyler McMeans, he's out with a left sprained knee. He is done for the night, guys.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. And speaking of injuries, Leroy Harris, the center, sophomore out of Raleigh, who is said to be the best of their offensive linemen, having to come to the bench. He was shaken up just now.
That's Mike Berry there beside Chuck Amato. He's the offensive line coach. They have already had problems in the offensive line with the injuries.
He was holding that shoulder like maybe it had either gotten knocked out of place or very nearly knocked out, or a stinger. Davis steps up, drills the ball in and out of the hands of Williams, the tight end.
When you're playing against Miami, you got to make those plays, because you got a first down there, and you got a chance to continue the drive, but you can't drop the football against a good football team. But he's wide open again.
Then when he hit it with the other hand, he almost turned it into a tip drill for the Hurricanes. So John Arani comes in, and will have to punt it away, 3 and out for the Wolfpack, and they kick it directly to the sideline to keep it away from Hester. And again, his influence, look what they've done, because this kick very poor, and let's see where they're going to mark it down. Well, we'll show you exactly. Looks like the 48-yard line. Big plays. Let's take a look at them by Miami.
You're right about the effect of Hester, and this is why they punted the ball out of bounds, because Hester took the opening kickoff for a touchdown. They've had big plays. The fake punt, Monroe, the punter, did a great job of faking that. Then the pass, the stop and go to Roscoe Parrish, and then the turnover by Kareem Brown.
So only 24 yards on that punt, and Frank Gore tries it at right tackle. There's just not much doing there. Combo tackle by Williams and also McCargo.
When North Carolina State looks at this tape, they're going to say their front four and the linebackers did a pretty good job.
Yeah, they've
done a pretty good job against the run. Where they broke down is in the secondary with the long pass plays.
Yeah, McCargo, they think he is going to be a very, very good one, only a sophomore, as is Mario Williams, the huge one who is right next to him. See the blitz coming. They pick it up. And the pass over the middle thrown right into the hands of Roscoe Parrish. Roscoe went up, took it down, had single coverage. That was really a nice job by Miami. 2 blitzing players, and watch them pick them up.
Yeah, they picked it all up. You're right, Ron. Look at the protection for Brock Berlin. To find Roscoe Parrish, who motions, you move your wide receivers to get them a release. The release is against Edwards.
So the first down, and they have it inside the 35-yard line. It's Greg Olson, the tight end, in motion. They tried to pull him to block it. He tripped up on the offensive line, and because of good penetration by McCargo, that play is knocked down for a loss. We have a flag at the line of scrimmage.
The snap was bad on that play because Brock Berlin got a late start. Talked about the penalties and the turnovers.
Offside, 91, defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Make a play on defense and you're offside.
Now that's 2 times that Manny has been caught, once in the first half and now this one in the early going of the third quarter. Trying to get that extra quick step.
Good pass down here, 1st and 5.
2 tight ends, and boy, there's nothing there for Frank Gore. Now NC State has really had his number tonight. He has not been a huge factor in this ball game.
That's why the big pass plays have worked, though, because they've really done a good job on the running game of Miami, but they've opened themselves up for the long pass plays.
Oliver Hoyt, you can see number 22 there, the junior out of Tampa, Florida. You look at Gore's numbers, averaging barely over 4 yards a try. Hoyt leads the team in tackles, and he was the first guy there on that hit. Berlin got it complete to the tight end Olsen, and Olsen will have the first down as he takes it to the 21-yard line.
Shows the great hands. Then when he catches this football, Greg Olsen on a crossing route reaches down, catches that football, and Larry Coker talked about him. He said he can be one of the great tight ends out of Miami.
Well, his dad called the head coach at Miami and said he wants to transfer, and they went through proper channels. And at the time, Miami, when he was coming out of high school, said they thought he was the best tight end in America. Here's Gore along the sideline, close to the first down. He'll take it with a gain of about 8 on the play. As Andre Maddox is there to make the stop.
Adding to what you said about Greg Olsen, when he decided to transfer, Larry Coker, when he talked to the father, he told him, he said, we're not going to recruit. He either comes here, we're not going to get in a recruiting war again. But he was at the high school camp 2 years as a high school player in Miami. He knew the coaches, he liked the campus, chose to go there.
Second down, maybe a down to play with as far as play action and throw. Second down and short. But they go with the run, and Gore is stuck at the line of scrimmage. Hey, he may have lost a yard. He did. They're going to spot him down at the 15-yard line. As you look at McClendon. The report is he has a chest contusion.
Now, if he's out of there, that's going to really hurt North Carolina State because he is the running game.
Third down. Miami needs to take it to the 12-yard line of the Wolfpack. And Berlin's going to just take it himself, and he'll go down, picking up the first down. Autry Lindsay came over to get on top of him, but he had already started taking it to the earth.
A gutsy performance by Brock Berlin because he's been hurt his leg before halftime, comes out, sprints out after the play fake, picks up the first down. And I'm sure Larry Coker, all the coaches in Miami, get down after you get the first down.
8th play of the drive coming up. Frank Gore behind some blockers, and that's a nice job defensively as Hoyt along with Troy Graham combine on the tackle.
And Graham's a safety close to the line of scrimmage, number 27, playing that run. This is a play action down right here. Olsen, the tight end, key target down here.
And a huge target at that at 6'5", 250. only a redshirt freshman out of Wayne, New Jersey. Hit from behind, ball is tipped, incomplete, and it's Hoyt who came with pressure.
They figured North Carolina State play action too. Oliver Hoyt came off the corner unblocked, put his helmet in the back of Brock Berlin. Comes free between the offensive left guard, Tella, and Butler, the tackle.
Third down, Miami. They lead by 11 and trying to tack some more on. Berlin in the end zone, too far, intended for Darnell Jenkins. And that means that John Petty will come on to attempt another short field goal. He was wide left on the last one, which was an attempt of only 24 yards. Is the attempt from the far hash mark, and he's got this one. So with 8 minutes 18 seconds left to play third quarter, our new score is Miami 31, NC State 17. So we are back. Our new score 31-17, and when you think back to what was happening in the first half, Mike, since NC State took that 17-14 lead, Miami has scored 17 unanswered points, and they have made the adjustments on defense to, up until this point, to shut out the Wolfpack.
Yeah, T.A. McClendon is a big part of this offense. They can't afford to lose him. He's gained over 120 yards in the first half. Lose him, they lose the rushing attack. And then Jay Davis is going to get heavy pressure in the passing game.
Monroe prepares to kick it off. Blackman and Reed, the two deep men. And from 1 yard deep, it's going to be Reed. Breaks one tackle, will not break the second. Going to be just short of the 20-yard line. T.A. McClendon running hard. He had a great first quarter, but he had almost 100 yards, had 95 in the first quarter.
Shows you his toughness. And North Carolina State cannot get away from the running game.
Well, he's coming back onto the field. One of the things one of the coaches said is he doesn't have a lot of regard for his body. He runs hard, and as you can see, he takes a lot of punishment when he runs as well. Play action to him. Davis throws back, got a wide open Washington. Did he gather it? Yes. Boy, he juggled it for a moment. Threed on the cover. They've
worked on Greg Threed tonight, because Greg Threed sometimes gets separated from the receiver, Richard Washington. Again, the fake of Jay Davis is affecting the defensive backs.
I'll tell you that the bobbling of that ball almost cost him. You could see Threed raking his hand across there, trying to knock the ball loose. And McClendon has to come to the near sideline. Darrell Blackman, freshman out of Williamsport, PA, comes into the lineup replacing him. And Davis going to go long. Got it turned the wrong way. It was Blackman we were just talking about.
Little pushing down the sideline, but Darrell Blackman, I think it's no call. Good coverage by Maxey.
So McClendon comes from the sideline back onto the field of play, and Blackman will come to the bench. The last three possessions for NC State, lost it on downs. They had a fumble and then the punt.
Look at those plays, though. They had 10 plays, 19 plays. They drove the football, no points. McClendon going to take the direct snap.
Yep, he does. Trying to look for a spot to run, and there just is no place to go. It's going to be 3rd down and 11 as Brian Pata comes in to make the tackle. Aaron Andrews will check back with you.
Well, Ron, obviously T.A. McClendon, a huge part of NC State's offense. We spoke with their trainers, and they told us to deal with a chest contusion, they gave him Pepto-Bismol of all things. I guess it's supposed to help him feel better. Also, an injury update on center Leroy Harris for NC State. Out right now with a shoulder sprain, guys.
Okay, Aaron. Good hustle down there. Luke Lathan has come to the ball game at center, replacing Leroy Harris. There's Leroy on the sideline. 3rd down, a pass incomplete. Antrell Roll was down there to knock the ball away, and it's going to be punting time again for the Wolfpack.
I want to go back to that play where McClendon took the direct snap. Now, Miami's seen all those things in the first half. Now they've settled down. They're keying in on that. They're not affected now.
Devin Hester is the deep man again. NC State has been kicking the ball away from him for very good reason, and they do again on this one. Now this is a much better effort. Driving spiral, and he'll make the catch at the 20-yard line, and he can't get by the first wave. That's excellent coverage by the Wolfpack. So Miami will start from the 26-yard line. Hudson downfield on the stop. 57-yard punt, 8 on the return.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Saturn, People First, and Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Good look at that Miami bench. The defensive players with a well-deserved rest. NC State came out here firing. They took advantage of a miscue on the part of the Hurricanes. And as we mentioned, they jumped in front 17-14. But since then, the Hurricanes have had an answer for everything that's been thrown in their direction. As you look at big Mario Williams, the left defensive end, only a sophomore. And we are told that the pro scouts are drooling over him already. Gore hit at the line of scrimmage. So you got to give credit to NC State, as you talked about, Mike, the down 4 and also the linebackers. Frank Gore is not the guy that has killed him tonight by any shape of the imagination.
Miami hasn't been able to run up to this point. Now, they may wear down this defense and start to run from this point on. Just thinking back in that T.A. McClendon fumble, that was big.
Yeah, it really was. You know, not only were they going in, boy, the momentum, the crowd was just, you know, really into it and making a lot of noise. Berlin. Play clock was way down, so he called a timeout. We'll take it with him. 6:18 remaining, third quarter. 31-17, Miami. (31-17), just over 6 minutes to play, third quarter. Miami on offense, and they face a second down, and they need about 8 yards to pick up the first. Manny Lawson, the junior out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. As Mike mentioned back in the first half, the defensive coaches said he is at least the third, and some people think that he's the fastest player on the NC State team, and he's a rush in. Roscoe Tanner, as a flag is down, breaks it open into the secondary and tackled across midfield. Now let's go back and check the marker. 24 yards in the play.
Movement by Miami. No, they're going to say offside, Ron.
So Roscoe Parrish.
Offside, 91, defense. Penalty decline.
Whoa. That's 3 times. 3 times on Manny tonight. Trying to get that extra start, and they bring him to the sideline. Maurice Charles, number 98, a sophomore out of Miami Carroll City, comes in. You can see that Manny is not real pleased with himself. Didn't want to come out of the ball game. So on first down, Berlin goes on top, stop and go, and he's got Olsen, and the tight end finally knocked out of bounds. Actually stepped out at the 29. Andre Maddox was there defensively, but it's a gain of 19.
Ron, he ran an out route and then takeoff. He's going to head to the flat, get his head turned, and now turns upfield on Marcus Hudson. Well delivered football by Brock Berlin.
First down for Miami at the 29.
Olsen now 3 catches for 36 yards. Here's Gore. Flag is down. Turns the corner. Pushed out of bounds. And it's Troy Graham who is there to hit him.
End over formation for Miami. That's when you bring the wide receiver over. You only have a guard and tackle on the left side.
And let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese, what do you got for us?
Well, Ron, one of the things we've been talking about all weekend, BCS, you need to stick in that attitude touchdown. Utah had a chance against UNLV to put 70 on them. They took a knee on 4th and goal. What if 63-28 is impressive enough to the bowl?
I'd say.
That's class. I mean, you certainly don't want to rub it in anymore. So the replay first down, 5 yards stepped off on the offsides against NC State. And good look right there. There's Mario Williams. What do we talk about? Not only a really good football player, boy, he is all airport. Look at the body on that kid. 6'7", 295 pounds, only a sophomore. Here's Gore, breaks it off, has the first down, breaks the tackle, and almost took it inside the 10-yard line. They're going to call him down at the 13. A.J. Davis up from the secondary. Now this is what Mike was talking about. Little fatigue in the part of the Wolfpack.
Yeah, this is the formation with the left guard and left tackle on the end over on the other side. Now Miami has found a crack in the defense here in the alignment, that end over formation, taking advantage of it.
Well, the Canes bring in fresh legs. Quadrine Hill, who plays both fullback and tailback, but they give it to Gore, and he bounces down to around the 10-yard line. And this is exactly what Larry Coker would like to see happen. Just run as much time off that clock as they can, put it in the end zone, and start putting this in a situation where it gets tougher and tougher and tougher for NC State to come back. And Larry would like to hop on that plane, start flying toward Miami. They're not going to get home until about 4 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Might as well stay over.
Well, either that or visit with the paperboy when you get there. Berlin, quick throw in the flat, got him open, and it is touchdown Miami. Quadrine Hill, who we were just talking about, brought him out of the backfield, and the flag is down, and Berlin is down as well.
Maybe a late hit on Brock Berlin because he took a hit, got the ball to Hill. Yeah,
Yep, you're right, Mike. Personal foul, roughing the passer. You see Chris Myers talking with his quarterback.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Pat Thomas called for it, but didn't look that bad to
well,
me.
It looked like once Pat tried to pull up, that then he got bumped harder by the headgear of still another player. Anyway, so the roughing the passer is called, and it'll be marked off on the kickoff. Petty with the extra point attempt, and he's got it. And with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left, third quarter, Miami beginning to just put this one away. Quadrine Hill with the touchdown. Miami 38-17. Still just over 4 minutes to play third quarter. Now a 21-point margin by the third-ranked Miami Hurricanes. You know, Mike, we talked as we were driving out here to the stadium today. Last week we saw Florida State, and it was like they were being called out by the media and everybody else. That Virginia not only was capable, but that they, you know, that they thought they would win the ball game. As Berlin talking on the phone and being having his neck massaged. Similar situation here with this Miami ball club tonight, and these are the kind of clubs that seem to thrive on dares. As somebody points a finger and says, you know, you're vulnerable, and they want to say, hey, we'll show you how vulnerable we are.
Well, you talked about this yesterday. You said Miami relishes this. They enjoy the hype. And Chuck Amato said, I told our players not to get caught up in the hype. Miami's been here. They think that the North Carolina State fans are cheering for them.
Yep.
They've turned it around.
I'm wondering if we might not see Crudup on the next series of downs with that injury to Brock Berlin by getting hit, because Kyle Wright did not make the trip with them.
Ankle injury, right?
Yes.
Encroachment, kicking team will add the 5-yard penalty from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 from the 25.
4 touchdown passes.
It's a career high.
Yeah.
1 interception, 13 of 26. Leroy Harris back in the lineup. That's good news for Wolfpack fans. The center, number 64. There's a good look at Big Leroy. Only a sophomore. Out of right here in Raleigh. Draw play. McClendon breaks off the tackle. 5-10, being wrestled down as he was caught by the shoulder pads by Greg Free. And let's see, a gain of about, 13 yards on the play.
Well blocked by the pack. T.A. McClendon pops out.
Well, I heard Lee say during halftime that he has a lot of respect for him. I got a lot of respect for this kid. I've seen him on television. The boy to see him in person now. He's
hamstring problems.
Sometimes when you're so muscle bound, that happens. Bolding his way again for almost 5 yards on that play. And a reminder, tomorrow morning on ESPN at 11 o'clock, it's NFL Countdown, presented by Old Spice Red Zone. Join Chris Berman in the game for all the day's action and prediction. Then at 7 o'clock, it's NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite, with all the highlights of the day's games. A full day of NFL coverage on the best in the business Sunday on ESPN. Davis with the pass to Washington. Couldn't hold on. Maybe a good thing he threw a little low.
Ron, you go back to last week, the Louisville football game for Miami. Good teams win those games. They come out, somehow they come out of those games and win them. Now, Louisville had a chance to intercept a pass in the last 3 minutes, would have sealed the deal. But Miami is winning a winning program because they believe till that final gun they're going to win.
Davis stepping up, good coverage in the secondary. He's going to be hit from behind. Nice job of protecting the ball. Kareem Brown came over trying to pick up his second turnover. You know, a lot of times people think that the Miamis of this world simply, you know, they just reload, because that's an expression that's used. But when you have as many young players as NC State has a player down, if as many young players as Miami has, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's one of those deals where, you know, they'll be easier to play this year than they will be next year, because they're going to get that much better. Here's that game, Mike, that you were talking about when the Hurricanes erased a 17-point deficit over the final 20 minutes. This is Hester right here on a 78-yard return. Miami up by 3. Louisville then drives 80 yards, scoring on a Lionel Gates 1-yard run. And then with 49 seconds left, Frank Gore capitalizes with his own 1-yard run. And it was a victory, a difficult one at that.
A comeback for Brock Berlin, 25 of 37, 3 touchdowns. Add that to tonight's total. Pretty good 2 weeks. But Louisville's a very solid, good football team.
They are. You know, but the thing is, we go back and we talk about, as they attend to Derek Norris, the big offensive tackle who's injured. I mean, the mark that Hester has made, the intimidation tonight, a 24-yard punt in this second half caused by Hester. Didn't want to kick to it. And it's going to be where on kickoffs, like I said, the short spinners, they still wind up with the ball at the 35 or 40-yard line because you're trying to not kick to Hester.
He better quit practicing catching kicks because nobody's going to kick to him.
You know, coming up next at SportsCenter, Scott Van Pelt and Steve Levy. College football Saturday stunners, NFL Sunday preview, and World Series postgame from Fenway.
The only kicks he's going to catch is in practice from that machine that kicks it up real high. Because all opponents know Devin Hester can change a game. We saw it tonight.
Derek Morris, now the medical staff comes out and taking a close look, and you can see the frustration with the youngster because of the injury. Obviously doesn't want to come out of the game, and also is afraid now he's going to miss some playing time. And I think that they have gone for a stretcher on this mobile unit, and they'll come out, put him on the stretcher, and take him to the locker room. And they will try to evaluate it here in the locker room with their X-ray facilities.
They're thin in the offensive line. They can't afford Derek Morris going down. You already saw Leroy Harris go out. Chris Comer was hurt last week. It's an offensive line that's being patched.
Derek, only a sophomore out of Huntersville, North Carolina. And he is a massive young man, 6'6", 330 pounds. You know, across the front of that line, McEwen is a junior, but Harris is a sophomore. The center, Newby, left guard, is a sophomore. Derek is a sophomore. So all of these youngsters will be back next year and the year after that, for that matter, with the exception of McKeon. Good round of applause, and glad to see that he was able to hop up, but he has no use of that left leg. So they'll take him into the locker room, as I said, and further evaluate the extent of his injury.
Injured player is number 71, Derek Morris.
Like a state law, you even have to wear seat belts when you ride one of those things. You could see the trainer there trying to hold that leg up and keep it immobilized. The wonderful thing about these new modern stadiums, Mike, is the fact that they do have X-ray facilities. You used to have to run kids sometimes a long way into a hospital, and now they can check things out right here. You see the Miami players, good gesture of sportsmanship right there, coming out and applauding and waving to him, wishing him well. So Durante coming in to punt. Still got 3 minutes and 4 seconds to play in this third quarter. Again, Devin Hester, the deep man for the Hurricanes. Durante angled to kick it in this direction toward the sideline. Ball is going to hit. Came very close to touching one of the Hurricane players. Erin Andrews has checked back down on the sideline with you.
Well, Ron, speaking of Devin Hester, he's got quite a fan in former Florida State standout Deion Sanders. That's right, Primetime was watching the Louisville game last Thursday and told his Baltimore Ravens teammate and former Miami star Ed Reed he wanted to get Hester's phone number. He said, I want to call him and help him and give him some advice on helping him with his defense. He said a guy with that much talent shouldn't just be on special teams, he should be on defense as well. Deion also said he doesn't care if people from Florida State gets mad. He wants to help out a local Floridian. He also told me, or I'm sorry, Hester told me he can't wait till Deion Sanders gives him a call. He's got his questions ready, Ron.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, Deion, you need to know, they're playing him on defense some, and they like his abilities. And the biggest thing that they say about him, he's a very, very quick study. He learns rapidly. Tyrone Moss, the ball carrier, NC State knocks him down after a gain of about a half-yard. Oliver Hoyt coming from that middle linebacking position.
Devin Hester going back to him, Ron. Larry Coker told him in the spring, pick your position. Play offense or defense. He's such a good athlete.
Well, they have used him at wide receiver on two specific plays tonight. Just one of those things you profit by. You just got to get the ball in his hands. Tyrone Moss stopped short of the 15-yard line by Autry Lindsey.
North Carolina State on defense. The front guys, Mario Williams, McCargo, two very good defensive players still playing hard. Need a stop.
Well, this crowd has really, really been good. I mean, they're down 21 points, and they're up. They're trying to help the defense. It's a third down. They need to take it out to the 21. Crowd has done their part tonight. I don't think there's any question. That's going to be off motion against Miami, against Chris Myers.
Right to the snap, false start, 7-7, offense, 5 yards, third down.
And the crowd was loud there. Chuck Amato talked about game day coming here. How a big event that North Carolina State, he hoped, would get him back in the future. And the fans rallied. I mean, they came here early today. They've been good tonight. So good. This is like the 50s. Earl Edwards, they made a commitment to him when he was coaching here in the 50s. They're making a commitment to Chuck Amato.
Pass complete to Everett. Kevin Everett, the tight end at the 50, cuts it back into the middle of the field, and is finally going to be stopped inside the 35-yard line by Lamont Reed. And keep one thing in mind, that 57-yard gainer, that was a tight end who was running, it looked like, most wide receivers.
Yeah, another bust on the secondary. You can't get this wide open. Kevin Everett shows you he's 6'6", 251, runs like a wide receiver. They got weapons in the wide receiver and tight ends. Olsen, Everett, Ortega. I mean, 3 tight ends that can catch a football.
Well, they might have had the vertical problems last year, but they don't this year. Berlin sets in the pocket, going to go long, right over the middle, and Roscoe Parrish within a brick of catching his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. Reese Davis, how many do you have?
Well, about the same number as Marcus Randall from LSU had before this. Down by 3 points to Troy inside 3 minutes to go in the game, and Randall, who's thrown 3 picks on the night, finds David Jones for a touchdown. LSU on top, still 2 and change to go.
Well, a lot of people shouldn't be surprised that Troy has demonstrated earlier this year that they are a very good football team. Little counter play here, and Tyrone Moss not going to pick up very much yardage, but again, that should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Clock is down to 25. Lowry helping out to make the stop. 2 seconds down to 1, and that is the end of the third quarter. So let's take a timeout as we head to the final 15. Miami by 21. So we head to the final 15 minutes of play. There you see the scoring: 14, 14, and 10 for 38 points for Miami. And NC State with 17 first-half points, but then blanked in the third quarter. In the third quarter, Berlin, 5 of 8, 109 yards. Outstanding quarter for him then. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Aaron Andrews, glad to have you with us. Carter Finley Stadium, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Good time for a screen pass.
Well, Berlin running for his life. Going to slide down just short of the 20-yard line, which is enough for the first down. They had a 3rd down and 9. And tonight's game track brought to you by Pioneer.
Brock Berlin, 4 touchdown passes. McClendon on the other side, 143 yards rushing.
Tyrone Moss in the ballgame at tailback for the Canes. And he'll get the handoff, slashing at right tackle. And he goes just inside the 20-yard line. Lowry making the stop. I have a feeling, in regards to the outcome, if Miami is going to say that they won't play anybody this year that is any tougher as far as the front 7 against the running game.
Very good front 7 for North Carolina State. Put a lot of pressure on the teams they played. Virginia Tech sacked them 10 times.
Good look at some of those guys up there. Williams, McCargo, Tank Tyler, Herndon. You saw him there a moment ago. He'll have the first down.
Big time run there by Tyrone Moss.
Andre Maddox making the tackle.
Ron, here's an amazing information here. 173 out of 175 regular season games, when leading after the third quarter, Miami puts it away. The fourth quarter is Miami's.
Sports Center coming up immediately following our ball game. We're at the 13:33 mark. Touchdown, Miami Hurricanes. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. So it appears as though Tyrone Moss will not get his 6-pointer.
One point I want to make about Miami. Brock Berlin tonight, Larry Coker looks on, has scrambled and picked up key first downs. Now what that means in the future for opponents is when you blitz him, he will take off and he will hurt you in man coverage and when you come with a blitz. Now he has picked up 2 or 3 first downs tonight rushing the football.
You know, I asked Brock in a conversation we had the other day that I said, we were told that the head coach called you out. And he said, well, maybe a little too much was made of that. But he did. He just told me, I expect more from you. The team expects more. You just got to bring it up a level. And he really has, Mike.
The little things he was not doing.
Fade route, near side. Touchdown, Miami.
There's a big thing.
Yeah, that's Leggett, and that's the youngster. He's only a freshman out of Arlington, Texas. And they think that he is going to be an absolutely great one. He's a huge target.
Man coverage, bump and run. Lance Leggett, who's 6'4", against Edwards. And Brock Berlin right on the money.
Penny with the extra point. 13:21 left in our ball game, and the new score: the Hurricanes 45, NC State 17. $45-17 the score. Little mean-spirited card right there.
Lee picks a lot of games on Saturday. This one, wrong.
Take the kickoff.
Brock Berlin. Tell you what, he's got that warm-up jacket on tonight, but as hot as he's been, I don't know that he's needed it. He really has played well.
In fairness to Lee, he's picked a lot right.
Yeah, that's right. This kick returned from the 7-yard line by Reed. Reed, he could be off to the races. Tackle made at the 18-yard line by Kelly Jennings.
Reed shows good speed as he breaks this kickoff. One thing about Miami now, they have speed. Kelly Jennings catches up with Reed.
Real time, let's watch it. So an outstanding return, and they have the ball at the 18-yard line. So the Wolfpack proving that they've still got fight left in them. Davis, backside, touchdown, Richard Washington.
Richard Washington is fast, becoming one of the best receivers in the ACC. The leading receiver on this football team, the old Indianapolis Colt play where Peyton Manning fakes all the time. Good fake by Jay Davis, and good throw to Washington.
Grady comes in to attempt the extra point, trying to bring it back to a 21-point margin, and he does. So with 13:04 left in our ball game, 21 points. Canes lead, a trim back from 28. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by the totally new Ford Freestyle. Built for the road ahead. And Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
Part of that beautiful fireworks display that we had that started just as halftime got underway. One note as far as a stat here this evening, other Miami quarterbacks with 5 touchdown passes in a game. And of course, Brock Berlin has done it tonight. Bernie Kosar, Steve Walsh, and Ken Dorsey. And he told us on the phone the other day that he and Kosar have become very close. Bernie was down there in the area. As this kick comes from the 15, and it's Jenkins.
Jenkins carries out across the 35-yard line.
Brock Berlin, you talk about a big-time night. Here's a touchdown pass to Roscoe Parrish. Another good throw early in the football game against good coverage. Roscoe Parrish again on the corner route. Got Hill out of the backfield. He's been busy. There's the final touchdown.
Leggett. And of course that other one was to Sonoris Moss. Miami will go with the running play, and Moss with short yardage as McCargo is there to make the tackle. Another reminder, Sports Center coming up next. Scott Van Pelt and Steve Levy. College Football Saturday Stunners, NFL Sunday preview, and World Series post-game from Fenway.
Talked about Bernie Kosar. He's been a friend to Brock Berlin. He said he's played the quarterback position. He knows what I'm going through. Ken Dorsey's also been a help.
Reese Davis, let's check back with you at the studio. What do you got?
Between Troy and LSU in the waning moments. Troy down 24-20. That's tenths of a second on the clock there. Under a minute to go. And LSU's defense coming up with the pass breakup, the near interception, and the Bayou Bengals save themselves from embarrassment, 24-20.
That's a tough team to play in the middle of your conference schedule.
After an open date.
3rd down and 8. They go with the running play. And Moss will not have the first down as Stephen Tulloch is there to make the tackle. Number 50, sophomore out of Miami, Killian. One of a number of kids on this NC State team that played at Killian High School. Of course, Pat Thomas, the strong side linebacker, is from that high school as well. And that's Joel Rodriguez, who is injured on the play, the center for Miami. Miami's had their share of problems, Mike, also with having to ship some folks around in the offensive line.
Yeah, Winston was hurt.
Let's take a look at the report card tonight, Mike, and how did they fare?
Yeah, did Brock Berlin get off to a fast start, had a fumble, but then he started strong. Did receivers beat man in the zone blitz? I'd say so. That's a check mark there, and they make Jay Davis beat them. And even though he's played well, they just have really done a great job on offense. Did they force turnovers? A+.
Well, that's a pretty good report card, and you're exactly right. As Joel Rodriguez, the junior out of Miami, being helped to the sideline, and he's now telling the trainer, I can go off under my own steam here.
That's what Larry Coker wants to do right now, is get that clock moving. He's sustaining some injuries here.
Well, we've been playing football for many hours now. It is 18 minutes past 11 o'clock Eastern, and this game started at 7:45. We still got 11:15 to play in the ball game as Brian Monroe comes in to kick it away. Gunner from the outside come up to pick up the man at the edge. He looks as though they're coming to block his kick, and he gets it away end over end, and now takes an NC State bounce, and Miami will down it at the 30-yard line. So let's take a timeout. 10:42 remaining in our ball game. 45-24 Miami.
Later on SportsCenter, Sylvester Crew makes history again. Why Ron Zook may now be history. Are the Lucky Seven all still undefeated? Plus why a Jets win tomorrow won't be because of Curtis Martin. SportsCenter after the game.
Last time on Dream Job.
45-24. Just over 10 minutes left to play in this ball game.
Roscoe Parrish on the sideline, a big night.
Don't blame you, young man. Similar sentiments up here in the booth. Play action by Davis. Covered downfield, zings that one. That's a nice pass. Throws it complete to number 13, Lamar Barrett.
Ron, Jay Davis is getting better as a quarterback for NC State. He's more comfortable, and he really fits this offense. Got a gun for an arm.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I like his performance tonight.
On the McClendon in all kind of trouble. Tried to the right, tried straight up, and then tried to the left. It got knocked down. Kareem Brown, the first man to get there to him. How about the report card as far as NC State's concerned?
Well, T.A. McClendon played well. 19 carries, didn't make the 25. Jay Davis has had a great game, Ron. I think he's played really well, so I think he got comfortable. When you look at the pressure block, Brock Berlin, not enough. Brock Berlin with 5 touchdown passes, and the yardage after the catch, big for Miami.
Well, Davis 15 of 29 for 215. 3 touchdowns and an interception. That pass right over the middle, and it's perfect. And he has that one complete, this time to Clark. So now they're trying out some of the younger receivers who don't necessarily play as big a part as like Richard Washington.
And if you're Larry Coker, you know this game can turn around. If they score quickly here, they can get back in this game. Now, you can say, hey, Miami's still got a 21-point lead. That can evaporate quickly.
Now Reggie Davis comes in, number 20, a tailback.
Miami, Larry Coker called a timeout just before that snap. It's only got 9 men on the field. No, he's got it. I can't count this late hour.
Here's a reminder up next at SportsCenter. Scott Van Pelt and Steve Levy. College Football Saturday Stunners, NFL Sunday preview, and World Series postgame from Fenway. There you go. You're right on cue. SportsCenter is next. Well, they came here with 2 things in mind. They wanted the Wolfpack to win, and they also wanted to get on television.
Yeah, 1 out of 2 is
one
not
out of
bad.
2 is not bad. There's a good look at Derek Morris, the big offensive tackle. And of course, we can't get reports unless somebody decides, or Derek decides for that matter, that we should know the extent of that injury.
Miami making a statement. Moved up in the BCS to 2. Beat Florida State. I think a really good Louisville team.
Yep.
Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. So I think the reason they moved up is because they played a better schedule.
Well, that was another question that I asked Larry the other day. I said, was it important, since this is the first of still a bunch more to come weeks of the BCS? And he said, actually, it was important. Because, you know, we like to get a report card. And the folks at Oklahoma said they were neither surprised or upset because there is still a lot more football, a lot more weeks to go. And, of course, the biggest thing for Miami, proud of the way their team came back against Louisville the other night. That pass, miscommunication, I assume, either that or just way too high for T.J. Williams. McIntosh was covering.
He wanted a penalty. T.J. Williams thought he was interfered with. Yep. Fans don't like the decision to punt. See if they fake it.
John Delaney gets the snap, and he indeed will kick it away. This is a very good spiral. It's going to be caught right at the edge of that sideline. And now here comes Hester, who's trying to turn it into something super. And I'll tell you what, he tackled him at the 5, but he tackled him by the face mask. And I'll tell you, Hester is down, and that's got to be a 15-yard variety. It's Troy Graham who grabbed him.
Troy Graham was in good position. Just hit the face mask.
Yeah, but then he tackled him with it, and that's always dangerous. Yes, he pulled him down with it. This has to be personal foul. It can't be incidental.
Grabbing the shoulder pads. See if he gets a face mask.
Yeah. You can tell the way the head jerks around. Then he grabs him with the back of the shoulder pads.
Personal foul, face mask, 27, 15 yards for the end of the run, first down.
Hester walking along on the sideline and moving that neck back and forth a little bit. Frank Gore comes back into the lineup at tailback for Miami. And it's Gore hit behind the line of scrimmage by Hoyt. Tonight's key stat is brought to you by Burger King, having their way. 45 points scored against the nation's #1 defense.
Well, that was a challenge for Miami's offense up to it. North Carolina State, ranked #1, will fall in defense.
Gore gets necktied. Maurice Charles.
Miami just trying to get this clock to move in the running game. Frank Gore is saying, hey, block them up there. I know they're good, but let's block them.
Third down, just a little bit more than 10. They need to take it to the 30-yard line. Clock is running down to 7:20 left in our ball game. Berlin, he's going to go on top. Just a little bit too long, and that was Sadoris Moss that he was trying to connect with.
Who's made a good catch tonight.
Yeah.
Moss.
Catch and run. They were trying to drag him down, and he pulled away from him.
Pack needs to get a punt block.
Well, they got one on the very first kick of the night, and it came after the last one. Here's the boot by the left footer. Driving spiral. Ball all the way back to around the 33-yard line, and then he gets banged out of bounds hard. Well, here's the BCS standings brought to you by Allstate.
Log jam. I mean, you got all good teams. I agree with this. Auburn, I think I might put at 3 and put Oklahoma at 4.
So I'll tell you what, now what we've done here, this is how many points they are behind second place. And of course, only the top 2 spots count as far as the national championship, or that's what you're shooting for, is what I should say.
And that's big. Utah, number 7.
And that's what everybody's shooting for, one of those national championship rings. Davis had him open, overthrew McClendon. So, you know, it's one of those things where we do. It sounds like almost cliche-ish to say we still got a lot of football left to play. So, you know, for
no doubt,
get excited about, you know, what happened the first week. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Aaron Andrews coming to you tonight from Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. And we've got Sports Center coming up immediately following our game. We are at 6:56 left in the ball game, and now here's another flag.
John Holt, the right tackle, moved.
False start, 79, offense, 5 yards, second down.
What's the number of penalties tonight?
Well, there's 8 against NC State and 9 against NC State and 8 against Miami. So
yeah, both
17
highly penalized teams coming into this game. There we are. A lot of yardage.
Davis, 40, 50. Wisely slides down at the 47. McIntosh was the closest man to him.
Ron, I'm impressed with Jay Davis. He's calm, he's cool, he throws the ball well, he makes good decisions.
There's his father. And his dad was his high school coach. And as I mentioned back in the first half, has been in coaching for some time and is highly respected. And Mike, how many times have you said it? But Kidd, as he throws that one perfectly to Barrett and tackled finally just inside the 25. He plays like a coach's kid, and he plays like a coach's kid.
That was a big league throw by Jay Davis to Barrett. Not a lot of room to fit that ball in. Jay Davis found it.
Running play, TA, who's going to have 10 yards on the carry.
Quick score here, onside kick. Chuck Amato still knows he's in this game. Larry Coker, believe me, on that sideline, you never have enough points.
You know, and Larry also knows that Chuck spent so many years at Florida State. Not a new thing for him, like most of the coaches in the ACC, to have to get ready for the Hurricanes, because Chuck saw him for so many years when he worked for Bobby Bowden.
Said when Miami, Virginia Tech, and we're coming into the league, he said, as long as we're not in their division, I like it. Yeah. Now he said, I got to play Florida State, Miami, Virginia Tech all this year.
That's right. That's how he drew them. Florida State comes up late. He does get Miami and Florida State at home.
Doesn't matter.
You know, where did the curse? Do you want it on the road or you want it at home? But you know, he has beaten Florida State. He beat Coach Bowden in Tallahassee.
The measuring stick is Miami, Florida State. A lot of shifting.
And I'll tell you, that play went right. I think is it McEwen who went down? Yeah. He rolled up on the back of his leg. The right guard.
Can't afford to lose.
No, they can't lose anybody else.
Lineman.
Nope. Well,
John Holt. Penalties, turnovers, Chuck Amato going to make his hair gray.
Well, wonder what the record for length of a ball game in the ACC non-overtime is. I think we're heading toward it. We're getting close to 4 hours on this one. Barrett appeared to be the closest receiver to the ball. Stops the clock with 5:10 left to play in our ball game. So now it's 4th down. And to keep it going, they got to move the ball down to the 14-yard line. As you look at the mayor of Miami, whose son coaches for NC State, in case you missed that feature back in the first half with Aaron.
Find Richard Washington, number 6. He's the wide receiver.
Blitz right up the middle, and the pass is caught. It is complete. Going to be short of the first down. Barrett on the receiving end, and Miami will take it over on downs with 5:03 showing on the clock.
Now Larry Coker thinks he's got enough points.
Well, coming up next, Sports Center, Scott Van Pelt and Steve Levy. College Football Saturday Stunners, NFL Sunday Preview, and a World Series post-game from Fenway. A lot going on today. Frank Gore gets the handoff, and he'll just take it into the middle of the line. Tonight's player of the game is brought to you by TIAA Cref. And our player of the game, there he is right there, Brock Berlin. 5 touchdown passes, and it ties the school record. We read to you just a moment ago the other 3 players who had done it. So he is in some really important company as far as folks who have done it. And we mentioned he and Bernie Kosar are very good friends. Bernie, one of those quarterbacks that played at Miami that had 5 touchdowns in a ball game. Here's what the top 10 did today, and so far, Mike, everybody has won. All precincts not reporting on this one, but darn close to it.
No room at the end. Nobody going to move up. Maybe. No. Nobody moves up. Keep it the same. Brock Berlin tonight has entered the Heisman race as a guy to keep your eye on. He's been hot the last 2 weeks.
Gore hit behind the line of scrimmage. So now it's going to be 4th down as you look at Larry Coker.
When I say he enters it, he now is in the top 5. North Carolina, Miami schedule. They ought to stay here.
Yeah, at Chapel Hill, then Clemson at home, at West Virginia, then Wake Forest and Virginia Tech at home to finish out the season. And you know a game they got to be careful of? Everybody who's not wanted to pay attention this year, on the 20th of November, they're at home. But Jim Grove's ball club has been just on the doorstep in every. That's right. In every ball game they play. That's one of those. Don't you dare look past at that juncture of the season. What in the world?
We've seen it all.
I thought I was watching Jim Thorpe All-American. It looked like a drop kick.
We've seen it all. That movie, Jim Thorpe.
No, it was a good movie.
Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Burt kicked one like this.
Yeah. You know what one of those flags could be?
We're going to find out.
We have illegal kicking the ball. The ball was on the ground, and the kicker kicked the ball. We're going to go half the distance to the goal. The foul also requires a loss of down. 1st and 10.
So the 19th penalty of the night, and the illegal kick. And with that, NC State's going to get the football just inside the 5-yard line. Held on to it. Touchdown, T.A. McClendon.
Out of the backfield. Good throw again by Jay Davis. Wide open. I've never seen a game with so many open receivers.
Yeah,
there's nobody on it. I mean, it's man-to-man coverage because there's a blitz. There's nobody there. It's like Denny's. Open all night.
You know,
nobody there.
Some special teams work is going to be done this coming week by both teams. Take a timeout. So we are back, a 14-point ball game with 2 minutes and 28 seconds. And look at Miami. They got the hands team up there between the 45 and the 45, looking for the onside kick. NC State successful back in the very first quarter with an onside kick.
Surprise.
This is not going to surprise anybody right here. .228 left on the clock, 45-31. There's the onside kick, and it is taken by Miami and down at the 43-yard line. Coming up next, Sports Center, Scott Van Pelt and Steve Levy, college football stunners today. We'll have a preview of the NFL tomorrow, and tomorrow is almost today, the World Series postgame from Fenway.
That onside was handled as well as you can handle it. Hill took the ball, the front line protected him, and did a good job.
Total yards tonight, Miami 430 and NC State 439. From Tyrone Moss straight ahead, and here comes a flag. So that's 20 penalties in the ball game. Well,
good company.
Yep, Walter Camp will tie in with this one tonight, 41-2.
They have an award after Walter Camp, so Larry Coker.
Holding, 78, offense, 10 yards, first down.
When Larry Coker wants no award, he wants to get out of here healthy.
Right now what he'd like to do is take all the flags away from these officials and let's run the clock down and all of us get out of here.
Moss is in.
Well, this running play is going nowhere. That's Autry Lindsey, who comes in to make the tackle. Coach Gottfried's midseason Heisman picks.
Ron, if it's given tonight, Leinart is out ahead. Jason Campbell from Auburn is lights out as a quarterback. He's playing as well as anyone is in the country. Reggie Bush, best all-around player. Jason White, Oklahoma, leading his team. Peterson, the running back. And I'm going to add one right here. My fifth guy, I'm adding Brock Berlin, because he is, tell you what, his last 2 weeks have been exceptional. And he's doing it for a team that's right in the hunt.
Well, I was going to say, Mike, if he continues to be as focused and play as well for the remainder of the season as he has these last 2 weeks, he not only would have a shot at the balloting, but also he would lead these guys to the edge of the promised land, which would be Miami in the national championship game on the 4th of January.
And I want to say those Heisman choices are, if it's given away tonight, those were the guys that are in the lead.
You know, I personally, after seeing him twice, I would add Bush to that list, the outstanding running back from Southern California, because he has been such a difference maker also, and particularly at a time early in the year when wide receivers were not only not stepping up for Southern Cal, they just were non-existent. But he is the reason that Southern Cal is still undefeated.
He was on my list. I had him right in the middle.
That's the reason I missed him.
He was, well, it's late.
Hey, listen, I'm watching that clock. Tyrone Moss again.
Chuck Amato using his timeouts. Tyrone Moss is a big back.
Yep.
Big legs. Tough guy.
So a timeout called. 45-31. Let's take a break. So we are back with 1:44 showing on the clock. 45-31. Miami on top. They got a third down and need to take it all the way down to the 34-yard line to keep this one going. And they'll run it again, just trying to run down the clock. Hoyt again with another stop. Hoyt's had a good ball game tonight. I don't know officially how many tackles they have him for, but we have called his name quite a bit tonight, the leading tackler for the Wolfpack.
Solid linebacker. This front, and I've said it all night, the front, now you're looking 45 points on the board against them. They just ran into a buzzsaw.
Well, you know, also you can lighten the load on them a little bit by saying the first touchdown was special teams, so the defense didn't give up that. And also then the pressure that NC State felt because of that return possibility, a 24-yard punt. Miami wound up getting points off that. So
you're right.
I think if you went back and you added all those things up, you might look at the defense a little differently and say, you know, hey, they were better than maybe, you know, given credit for. 12 tackles, by the way, for Oliver Hoyt. We're just talking about him. That's an awfully good outing for the dozen stops. Here's the boot. Boy, this is a best kick of the night. Going to hit at the 1-yard line. I don't believe it. It is going to be down in the field of play. Ball never reached the plane of the goal line. They'll scrimmage from the 1-yard line, and it's Devin Hester.
Well, he is all over the place.
Right now, let's throw it to Steve Levy. Steve. So Sports Center right after the game. It's 1:27 from now.
How about Devin Hester making that play on that punt?
You know what? That's what Antrell Roll was saying about it. He just has meant so much to this Miami football team with everything that he does. And I think we've all seen it tonight. Not trying to overblow his horn, but I'm telling you, everything that he has set out to do tonight, he's accomplished.
He's a tempo setter, and he can change the game.
Well, as I mentioned, the conversation with Larry Coker, and he said that they worked as a staff very hard before spring training, after spring practice, on the vertical game and how to get more big plays. Sack is going to be made at the 1-yard line. He did not go down in the end zone. And you know, he made a very interesting point, Mike. He said some people say, well, they are afraid to try big plays because of the possibilities that there are also some bad things that can happen. But he said you can become too conservative, and if you don't try them, then they never come up.
Well, with these wide receivers and tight ends that catch the ball so well, the Hurricanes are a threat. Big play after big play.
Yep, they really are. You have to be impressed with Leggett, the young freshman player out of Arlington. And McClendon going for very short yardage there. And we are getting very close to the end as the clock is down 34, now 33.
Miami's defense, second half, did a good job. Really did. Took over the game.
And for that, the defensive coaches had to be very pleased with themselves in the adjustments that they made. Fourth down. Davis throws it incomplete, almost intercepted. Antrell Roll was the man who was closest to it. Clock shows 7 seconds. And I think Miami's offense will have to come on the field. But you see Brock Berlin simply take a knee. So let's take a quick look at the ACC standings. So we advance Miami with the win, 3-0 in conference, 6-0 overall.
Still have to go to Virginia. It wasn't West Virginia, Virginia.
Yeah.
Which will be a tough game for them, but still sitting pretty right now at the top.
So Berlin will take a knee, and that should do it. 5 seconds, down to 4. And this one is in the books. So the final score, Miami 45 at NC State 31. Coming up next, Sports Center over on ESPN News, the Miami press conference. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night, everybody, from Raleigh, North Carolina.